parts and backup generator installation with flexible financing options to make a whole house generator affordable. And 3, Gabroots has live call answering 24/7. We're here any time of day, especially in case of an emergency. At Gabroots, electrical work is all we do. And at the holidays, we're here to ensure your home and family are safe. Locally owned for more than 30 years. Call Gabroots, G-U-B-R-U-T-S.
Call the good dudes at Gabroots, G-U-B-R-U-D-S, Gabroots.com.
Tell your friends.
Grant's back.
Grant Napear is back on the Sacramento airwaves right here. KSAC 890 AM Olivehurst, K284CM 104.7 FM Sacramento.
Hello.
Hello, Sacramento.
Sacktown.
And welcome in.
Grant Napear.
How you been?
You know this guy.
It's your show.
So happy to hear you on the airwaves.
Time to begin.
2+ decades on the radio with you.
Just the start of an incredible journey.
Now he's back on Fox Sports 104.7 FM and 890 AM.
3 to 6 every day, Fox Sports Sacramento.
The phone number?
916-779-0929.
His name? Grant Napear.
Hey, everybody, getting you ready for the weekend. The NFL starting last night. The Bucks are melting right before your eyes. Hard to believe how they lost that game. We've got our NFL picks that we'll do at the end of the show. Rhino can't do any worse than he did last weekend. Sorry, buddy. I just had to start off by, putting the proverbial knife in your back. But, because I have a big mouth, I'll probably go 0-4 this week. So, don't take it personally. But we'll talk to Rhino coming up in a little bit. We'll make our picks again at the end of the show, and we'll go over the NFL schedule. And unfortunately, because, I'm doing the show right in the heart of Sacramento, I have to talk about the dysfunctional, embarrassing, pathetic Sacramento Kings who lost 136-105 last night. They are now 6 up and 19 down. The Denver Nuggets put 41 on the board in the first quarter. And I had an interesting third hour of the show yesterday because I received some phone calls from people that were in their car on the way to the game. And it was interesting because one individual told me that they had season tickets for the sole purpose of watching the other team because they were really NBA fans more than Kings fans. And that made a lot of sense to me. Then I had another individual who had 7 Sacramento Kings tickets, and I asked them a bunch of questions about are they going to renew, where they're at, and all of that. And so I'm very accessible for people that want to reach out to me. I keep my DMs open. I have emails that I get. I like to be engaged with the fans. I always try to be engaged with the fans, whether it's here or on my podcast over on YouTube and X, or if it's on social media. So after my show, I got a DM from a individual that I thought was like, wow. And this to me pretty much illustrates how bad things are in Sacramento right now. We had been going back and forth about how many years he's been a Kings fan, and it was the number 40 when they moved from Kansas City. And at the end he said, and I think in aggregate, I've seen more games than you. And the reason why he said that is because I wasn't here for the first 2 years. So he says, I think in aggregate, I've seen more games than you. And now it just doesn't matter. Hard when a franchise starts to lose a fan that has seen 99% of the games for 40 years. I saw 20 games in year 1 in person, and I was going to school at Irvine. Think about that. He saw half the games in 1985 and didn't even live in Sacramento. How sad is that? How sad is it that a 40-year Sacramento Kings fan is out. Again, let me repeat the key sentence here. Hard when a franchise starts to lose a fan that has seen 99% of the games for 40 years. Does anybody with the organization care? Does Vivek Ranadive care? Is he ever going to talk? Right? I mean, the nonsense that I hear after every single game is nauseating from Doug Christie. And again, I applaud Doug for being so good with the media, but I don't applaud him for what he says. It's just what is the word? What's the term? Word salad? It's awful. Here's Doug last night after the Kings got embarrassed again on their home floor.
Tonight it felt like an energy thing, and notoriously, whether it's here or wherever, even when I played, a lot of times when you go on a long road trip and you come back, the first game is it's just kind of weird sometimes. But tonight, the energy it wasn't there. The vibe with the energy was not there. Got off to a decent start, and then to your point, 41 points in any quarter is just too much, and 77.5 is like totally out of control. But a lot of the things that we've worked on, a lot of the things that we were improving upon, did not execute that tonight.
Got off to a good start. Why? Because the score was 9-9? You were down 15 at the end of one. That's a good start. I mean, if you're talking about the first 2 minutes of the game, okay. And it wasn't a long road trip. It was a 3-game road trip with 2 days off between games 1 and 2, then a day off between the final game. And here's the important thing. I would agree with Doug to use the road as an excuse if you come back and you only have 1 day off and play the next night. But that wasn't the case. You played on Monday and didn't play again until Thursday. There should be no effects of a road trip because you had a full day off to adjust before you had a practice. So that is not an excuse here. I always talk about this, that if you come back on a road trip and you only have 1 day off, generally speaking, your first game is not good, particularly the start of the game. That's not an excuse last night. Number one, it wasn't a long road trip. And number two, you had 2 full days off before you played. And if you want to use injuries as an excuse, they had key players that were out too. I mean, if you want to talk about Aaron Gordon, Domantas Sabonis, okay, even in terms of what they do for the respective teams. I mean, I'm sorry. This is a team that on most nights is not competitive. To me, there are just too many instances where you can just look at the body language of the players. And here's the other deal. The crowd last night, I feel so bad for you. What was there? Probably 35, 40% empty seats. And there's no environment in the building anymore. There's no energy in the building anymore. And I get it. I completely get it. It's up to the team to create the energy, period. I mean, why would the fans get excited when you give up 41 points in the first quarter? Why would the fans get excited when almost every single game you play, you're down by double digits before they've come back from the concession stand or before they've settled into their seats? Other than, 1 game or 2 games this year at home, including the home opener against Utah, which was close, the comeback against Minnesota, right? Why would the fans be excited to be at a Sacramento Kings home game? Based on what? I mean, their home games have been horrible. Horrible. I mean, seriously. I don't know where you go from here in terms of You're going to get excited. You lose 132 to 101 at home to OKC. You lose 144 to 117 at home to Minnesota. You lose 122 to 108 at home to Denver. You lose 133 to 100 home against Atlanta. Then the Minnesota game, you win in overtime. You lose to a bad Memphis team, 115 to 107. You lose to Phoenix in a game that's not close, 112 to 100. And then last night you lose 136 to 105. Why would the fans want to, even be there? And if you think the attendance is bad now, wait until the holidays is over. You haven't seen anything yet. It's so sad. So sad. 6-19, 3-8 at home. How bad is 3-8 at home? Real bad. But thank goodness you have the New Orleans Pelicans, because it's not the worst home record in the Western Conference. It's the second worst home record in the conference. You know what is the worst in the conference? You ready for this? And the second worst in the league? Their point differential at a minus 11.4. And we keep talking about, where do you go from here? I don't know. I really don't know. I do like what I'm seeing from Max Reno. I like what I saw last night from Devin Carter. And then, what is going on with Nick Clifford? Nick got a good run last night. He started, played a lot of minutes. We've been talking about that. He had just had a game off the road trip to get into some confidence, and played with the Stockton Kings, which I thought was a great idea. And what happens? He gets a start because Zach LaVine did not play. And he does nothing. I mean, I'm sorry, he does nothing. Nothing. Terrible. Absolutely brutal. Now, am I ready to say he's a bust? No, that's stupid. Am I ready to say he can't play? No, that's stupid. But what I am saying is, once again, we caution you on this. You cannot go by Summer League. You cannot go by Summer League, because you're playing, for the most part, against non-NBA caliber competition. Nick last night, 28 minutes, 2 points on 1 of 8 shooting, 0 of 6 from downtown, 4 rebounds, no assists, and 4 turnovers. He looks lost out there. Thank goodness for Max Reno, the second-round pick, who looks like he very much belongs. He played a team-high 37 minutes. And then Devin Carter, 21 minutes, 15 points, 5 of 10 floor, 3 of 6 from downtown. And as Jerry Reynolds discussed on the postgame show last night with me, he needs to be on the floor more, just so we know what he has. Jerry thinks he's a player. I think he's a player. Let me repeat myself. Jerry Reynolds thinks he's a player. I think he's a player. Not necessarily a starter, not necessarily a guy that's going to be an all-star, but somebody that can have a decent career in the NBA. Okay, we're not making him out to be a savior. We're not making him out to be the next starting point guard. He's really a combo guard. And I thought last night, after having 2 games in the G League on back-to-back nights, I like what I saw last night from Devin Carter. But, I mean, if you're going to the games right now, I want to hear from you about that 40-year fan that reached out to me and said, and now it just doesn't matter. Hard when a franchise starts to lose a fan that has seen 99% of the games for 40 years. And then last night, I believe for the first time, there were chants directed at managing general partner Vivek Ranadive to sell the team. And I have a feeling that those chants are going to become louder and louder and louder. And it is unfortunately going to be a topic of discussion for the rest of the year. And I say unfortunately because Like, that's how bad things are. And I just, enough's enough already. Enough's enough. So we'll take your phone calls on that. You can give me a call at 916-779-0929. From the 530 just sent me a picture on the text line of 10 minutes before the game started last night. My last game. Wow. When you say it's your last game, are you a season ticket holder and you're not going anymore? Or your last game of buying tickets? I would love to know. What do you think? What is it? All right, NFL. How about that game last night? Did you watch that game last night? How is it that a team, the Atlanta Falcons, all right? Think about this. The Atlanta Falcons last night committed 19, not 9, 19. That's a 1 and a 9. 19 penalties. And they beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 29-28. Wow. I mean, think about that. 19 penalties, 29-28. I mean, you want to talk about brutal. Wow. That is brutal. All right, the game's coming up on Sunday. Cleveland at Chicago. Baltimore at Cincinnati. Kansas City decimated up front with their line at home against the Chargers. I don't know how they can win. I know the Chargers have issues on the line too, but I think we could really just finally be saying goodbye to the Kansas City Chiefs once and for all after this week. Good game here in New England. Buffalo, New England from Foxborough. Washington's at the Giants. The Raiders are in Philadelphia. Boy, do the Eagles desperately need a win. Jacksonville home to the Jets. Arizona's at Houston. Green Bay is at Denver. I think it's the game of the week. Rams host Detroit. That's also a game of the week. I think those two games right there, both in the late window at 125. Carolina at New Orleans. Titans are in San Francisco. Colts and Seahawks from Seattle. Sunday night, Minnesota at Dallas. Monday night, Miami at Pittsburgh. Good couple of really good games. A couple of really good games. From the 702, do the math. Vivek, every great business person has an exit strategy. You purchased the Kings for $534 million. Kings are now ranked 14th with a valuation of $4.458 billion. Do the math. Follow the lead of OKC majority owner Clay Bennett and sell the Sacramento Kings too. There is no better time for the fans and your NBA return on investment than now. You're missing one really key point here, okay? You said every great business person has an exit strategy. A lot of owners in professional sports do this for a hobby, okay? They don't do it strictly, as you say, as a business person. The other issue is Vivek, at the time, only owned, I believe, 14% of the team. That has increased somewhat, but it's not like he owns the entire team. There are many, many minority partners who, by the way, would have a champagne party with the best champagne available in the world, okay, with the best catering in the world, on top of the best rooftop bar restaurant in the world, if Vivek were to sell the team. Okay, they would have a celebration that you would not believe. But when you say every great business person has an exit strategy, you don't know Vivek, and you don't know what makes him happy. What makes him happy is being relevant. What makes him happy is being seen in public sitting next to Roger Craig. What makes him happy is to be seen sitting next to a big-time musician. What makes him happy is being seen sitting next to a big-time athlete, entertainer, Drake. I can go right on down the list. Okay? That's what makes him happy. That's how he lives his life. You rarely will see Vivek without somebody of stature sitting next to him. You'll never see Joe Blow sitting next to Vivek, okay? It's all about status with him. 100% about status. That's just the way it is. And if you don't believe me, then all you need to do is use your eyes for that. So that, I understand where you're coming from, but in this particular instance, it's not relevant to what you just said. It's just not. All right, you want to talk about relevant? You want to talk about current? You want to talk about doing things right? That's Village Financial Group. That's Spencer Grimmenstein, broker, owner of Village Financial Group. And you want to talk about a track record, 25 years, outstanding business, family owned. If you are buying a home, if you're selling a home, if you're looking for a home equity line of credit, experience is so key. Trust is so key. Somebody that's a specialist in financing is key, especially if you are looking for access to private money, which Spence has. Give him a call or text Spence at 916-805-4868. That's 916-805-4868. And if you go on their website at vfgloans.com, you'll find over 9,000 properties available for purchase. Again, folks, it makes sense to call Spence at 916-805-4868. Village Financial Group, looking out for your best interest. When we come back, your phone calls, your text messages at 916-779-0929. And from the 702, after I gave you my thoughts on Vivek, he responded, Roger that. And then the 631, name me a major league team in the four major sports that is not going up in value. Great point. Grant Napear, getting you ready for the weekend on Fox Sports Sacramento.
A new year is almost here. A fresh opportunity to tell people about your products and services so they know who to spend their money with. Fox Sports Radio has a Mount Rushmore of sports talk talent. Patrick, Cowherd, Gottlieb, and Sacramento's own Grant Napear, and they have an audience you can take to the bank. This is Fox Sports General Manager Kurt Bagelman. Sports Talk listeners are a unique, target-rich group of consumers. They're employed. They earn six-figure incomes. Two-thirds own their own homes. And they listen to the radio longer. Let me repeat that. They listen longer. So your commercial message has more opportunity to be heard. It costs nothing to learn how a good strategy and a great schedule could help your business. So call me, 916-779-0914. 916-779-0914. Radio gets results, and we are here to help. Call 916-779-0914.
Need new tires? Now through December 15th, save $100 instantly when you buy a set of 4 Bridgestone Weather Peak tires. Save $70 instantly when you buy a set of 4 eligible Bridgestone tires, or buy a set of 4 eligible Firestone tires and save $60 instantly at Expert Tires and Brakes. Expert Tires, 5810 Auburn Boulevard. Offer valid now through December 15th. Cannot be combined with other offers. See Expert Tires and Brakes for details.
Looking for the perfect spot to watch the game and enjoy amazing food and drinks? Look no further than Fieldhouse American Sports Pub. Family owned and operated, Fieldhouse is passionate about creating a fun, welcoming atmosphere for everyone. Spice things up on Tuesdays with Taco Tuesday. Buy any order of our delicious tacos and get a refreshing margarita for just $6. On Wednesday, Fieldhouse features incredible drink specials. Enjoy $5 well drinks and ice cold pints all day long. Fieldhouse was voted the #1 sports bar in Sacramento. Tons of TVs, a mouth-watering menu, and daily specials. It's the perfect sports bar to catch all the action. Visit us today at 1833 Fulton Avenue. Fieldhouse American Sports Pub, where the food is fantastic, the drinks are flowing, and the good times never stop. Fieldhouse, bring it to the house.
You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Back with you on Fox Sports Sacramento. Rhino, you were at the game last night. I was watching on TV, so you have a different perspective. Like, when I talk about the environment last night and lately, like, how would you explain that? What's your thoughts when you sit there in the crowd and you're just observing everything?
There's not as much excitement in the air when you're walking through the concourse, definitely, but there is fans are on edge, really. Expectations are very low. They know what to expect. A perfect example was how much Russell Westbrook was pounding the basketball behind the three-point line, almost audible gasp because you knew what was coming. And, you know, you've got those that probably season ticket holders. The difference, once you get down 30 in the second half, they're out the door. But then you have the fans that stay around because it might be the only game they're there to see, or they want to see the other team. But definitely just expectation to not have any good expectations.
By the way, I did get a response from the individual when I asked if he was a season ticket holder or she. I don't know that. 530. I'm not a season ticket holder, but I do attend 15 to 20 games per season. I will not be buying any more tickets. By the way, I was cheering Jonas Valanciunas every time he made a shot or got a rebound. Yeah, he's not good enough to play for the Kings. Here's another one from the 916. Knowing the Kings' luck will be a bottom 3 team, but still get the 10th pick in the draft. That's an impossibility, so don't worry about that. So, like, the holidays are normally a time where attendance is not affected for, I think, obvious reasons that I don't have to go into. I just wonder if this December is going to be different based on what we saw last night.
It's a very good question. They have it down as 16,307. I can tell you to my eye, it did not look anywhere near 16,000.
Well, all you had to do is look at all the empty seats on television, which they don't show the upper bowl. So I don't know what the upper bowl looked like, but it didn't look very good down low. That's for sure.
Scattered in the upper bowl. Definitely.
Yeah. So now there is one issue about the game last night. That's a game that was added to the schedule after the Kings were eliminated from the NBA Cup. So I wonder if that had anything to do with it.
I don't think so, because you only have a couple more times to see them before Christmas. I think we're back at the G1C one more time. I want to say the 20th, Grant?
Against the Blazers. No, there's more. No. There's more home games coming up. You got Detroit. You got Houston.
Okay. Yep, you're right. You've got 3 left before Christmas. So I think they'll be filled, but I would expect here's going to be my litmus test, because as we talked about yesterday, people are starting to get out of school. They're going to come back home from college. That should bring some different excitement to the building because they haven't been in the building yet. And how does that going to change things? But this fan base needs the team. Grant, we've always said when basketball is at its best, and this is really a home court advantage, the Kings and the fan base are playing ping pong, tennis, back and forth with each other, giving them the plays that they want to see, the hustle, and then the fans give it right back to you. And it's just maybe seen it 1 or 2 times this entire season. It stinks.
All right. The chant of sell the team was towards the end of the game, correct? And would you say it was a very small percentage? What would you put the number on there?
Yeah, the chant was midway through the third quarter, and I would say it was maybe half of a section, a full section. Here's some audio of it last night. So what I can tell you is they were sitting across from us, lower level, in a corner, where we sit from the media, and we could hear them up there, and we're at the top of the first bowl. So it was audible enough for us to make out.
Well, it's going to, if that increases, and I believe it will, it's going to be very uncomfortable for Vivek to be sitting courtside at these games.
Didn't look very uncomfortable last night for him. I mean, it was brief, but if it spreads, if it gets to the levels where it was we want Keon, then yes, that's going to be very, very uncomfortable.
I think it's going to get there. I'm not going to jump on that. Fans can do whatever they want when they were at the games, but in my opinion, it will get to that, and I think it's going to get to that very shortly. After this game in Minnesota, you have a game on the road at Portland, home Houston, home Detroit, and you could get blown off the floor in all three of those games. Now, Portland's not playing great, but I don't like the matchups against Sacramento. I don't like anything about Sacramento. Houston's going to blow you off the floor, and Detroit is going to come in here and embarrass you. So that's going to be a real ugly week leading up to Christmas.
I don't think the fan base is looking at wins and losses. In fact, I think more of the fan base is hoping for losses, but at least seeing some growth and some competitiveness. And that's what you get with that young group. In fact, you bringing that up and talking about the young group, that's when you got some of your louder pops throughout the night when Max Reynaud made a play, when Devin Carter was making shots. And it's what the fan base wants.
Of course, the fans are tired. And again, this what didn't apply last night because he was hurt. The fans are tired of seeing Zach LaVine play 35 minutes a night. All right, they're tired of seeing DeMar DeRozan play 35 minutes a night. They're starting, I think, to get tired of seeing Russ play 35 and 40 minutes a night. They just that's where we're at right now. And so, yeah, I'm with you 100%. That's not even really debatable. It's very apparent, is it not?
No, it very much is. And I have been to every game except two because I was sick.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you can tell that very big divide. And I got to say, if you want to take some positives from last night, Max Reynaud, his ability or his willingness to get physical is really good. And this kid's got some quick reflexes and some really good hands. The passes that he was catching last night were in a phone booth and not easy to grab for a big man. So I am very, very happy with what I'm seeing there. To your point in the opening segment about Neek, I think it's important to point out Neek's a guy that's played with the ball most of his career, whether it's from the forward position, whether he's running the point. That's a big transition playing without the ball, and that can make the game a little bit different, not only just adjusting to the NBA and the speed, but playing without it is different. We saw De'Aaron go through that. We saw Monk go through it to a degree. So I think that's contributing to some of his struggles.
So I'm watching the Denver feed last night, and Scott Hastings is their analyst who was part of the Bad Boys when Chuck Daly coached the Detroit Pistons. And he was the same position as Max. Different because the game's different now, but he was a power forward and center, and he played 11 seasons in the career. And he was extremely complimentary of Max Reynaud on the telecast last night, and he made an interesting observation. He kept on talking about how he watched him warm up and how impressed he was with his warm-up and the attributes that he saw with Max during the warm-up, and that it had carried over onto the floor. And he, several times during the telecast, was very complimentary of him. And that means a lot. A guy that played the position, who's been around the game a long time, who doesn't get a chance to see Max play on a nightly basis like we do as of late, was that impressed by him.
That's high praise. And to have that type of work ethic as a rookie and seeing it translate in your rookie year is a great thing. Malik jokes with Max about giving him the ball more when he can start making floaters a little bit better. But let's be honest, this is a second-round pick that you are seeing some veterans begin to trust. Russell Westbrook trusts him. I think DeMar DeRozan trusts him. So that is a huge thing, Grant, this early into a season for a guy that's a second-round pick.
And conversely, your first-round pick looks lost. Nick Clifford, it's hard to believe that's the same guy that we were raving about in training camp.
Well, Grant, he had the ball in his hands all summer. I think that's the big distinction that we're missing here. And also, he had runway during the summer. And yes, as you pointed out, the talent is not the same. But if you give Neek, I would like to see a 30-minute stretch with Neek Clifford running the point. I guarantee you would see a completely different Neek Clifford.
I don't know. I got to see it before I believe it. Let me see that in the G League first, okay? Have him go play for the Stockton Kings and do that one game for 30 minutes. And then if I see it in the G League, not that I can say, well, gee, that means it's going to happen when you get up to the big boys, but I want to see it there first. I'm not so sure about that.
Fair enough.
I mean, he had, and again, I understand where he was playing last night. He had 4 turnovers last night.
Well, it's interesting. So we're talking about struggles and we're talking about growth with Max. It makes you wonder what Coach Christie is thinking with those guys and what he's looking for. He answered that last night.
You know, one of the things that I measure is like, or is their head down? Like, how are you vibing in that particular instance? Because it's a learning thing. Like, you're playing against a champion, a 3-time MVP or however many MVPs he's got. So like, and then the same thing for Murray, he's Olympian, all these different things. You just go and compete and play with a level of confidence and physicality that we don't put our head down. It's okay. And I tell them sometimes, you know, like he shoot a shot and, you know, he misses it or he doesn't take it, excuse me. And I'm looking at him like, yo, man, take the shot. Be confident, and you got to play a confident style of basketball. So there's a lot to that. And really the 2 things that probably stand out is the confidence and the physicality. I want you to play confident. I want you to be confident. I want you to approach everything out there with confidence. But I also want you to approach it with physicality, because when they approach it with physicality, there is a consequence to that, because you're playing against somebody. And when you put your hands on somebody, they normally respond. And I need them to be in that hot fire so that they feel what that's like, and then don't back down. We got you. I'm going to run out there if something jump off. Don't worry about it. You just do what you do and do it with physicality and do it as a team and do it with the right purpose, and we'll live with all the rest.
I don't remember the last time I got done watching a Kings game and the word physicality was in my mind. This Kings team is a bunch of pillows. They're soft as tissue. And that's all I hear about from the coach after every game. We get handsy. We got to be physical. This team is as soft and as unathletic. I mean, I can go on and on. I'm so tired of hearing this absolute nonsense every single game. It is nauseating to me.
The guys that play physical, with the exception of Max, are either hurt or not getting consistent minutes.
Exactly. It's just a joke. It's an absolute joke. Stop it already. Let's get to Bill in Citrus Heights before we get to the break. Bill, I'll put you on here on Fox Sports Sacramento. Go ahead.
Hello, Grant. I think the Kings' denial of who they've gotten over the last 10 years and misleading the fans that we have great players and we're on the brink has harmed the fan base.
Can you elaborate? Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, yeah. For example, De'Aaron Fox is probably the best player we've had over the last decade. He moves to San Antonio. He's like option 3 at San Antonio. We bring in DeMar DeRozan. This is going to be the savior. This is what's going to take us over the brink. And we say, and then and Schroeder, this is going to be the one that's going to take us over over the path. It's going to get us into the top 6. Accept who we are, and then they can be the beloved Kings again. For example, Max is the type of player, will be a beloved King if he continues. But, you can get us fired up for a team that are kind of like the Cubs, where eventually they're going to succeed. But you got to start someplace and know who you are.
Yeah. I don't know where to start because I haven't seen it yet. But, it's a good analogy when you talk about the Cubs. Boy, it just seems like the Kings are so far away from being relevant, so far away. I mean, it's such a mess. I don't have a lot of hope. I really don't. I don't have a lot of hope.
Well, you got to know. You got to know who you are.
Yeah. No, they don't know who they are. That's the problem. I think that's a great point, Bill. I think you hit that right on the head. You have to know who you are. They don't have any idea who they are. You're 100% correct. Bill, have a great weekend. Thank you very much.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, Bill. You take care. 916-779-0929. The Grant Napear Show on Fox Sports Sacramento. Back right after this. Hey, it's Grant Napear from my friends at DAS Mechanical. Did you know most homeowners are changing their heating and air systems from gas to all electric? It's about getting more energy efficiency and saving a lot more money every month on energy bills. If your current heating and air system is 15 years or older, it may be time to consider a change. Call DAS Mechanical first. Nearly all of DAS's work is gas to electric whole system changeouts. Nick and his team, they're experts. They also have 0% financing and 24/7 availability if you ever have a heating emergency. Award-winning, locally owned. It's DAS Mechanical, serving their Sacramento and Placer County neighbors for years. Save more on your energy bills. Call, text, or chat at 530-591-1055 to find out more, or go to dasmechanical.org. That's dasmechanical.org.
Have you ever tried to buy gold and silver and felt like you were talking to a used car salesman? That's because the precious metals industry is like the Wild West. Salesmen can say pretty much anything or make any promise they want without repercussion. But Genesis Gold Group is different. They're a faith-driven Christian precious metals company and believe in educating their customers, not pressuring them for a quick sale. Genesis Gold Group focuses on customer service, not sleazy marketing. Genesis Gold Group is named after the first book of the Bible for a reason. Proper stewardship of wealth is their specialty. Find out why they've earned a 5 out of 5 rating through the Better Business Bureau and how they can help you secure your wealth or retirement through physical precious metals. Call right now to learn more.
800-497-8464. 800-497-8464. 800-497-8464. That's 800-497-8464.
The holidays are here, and Gabrud Services is here for any electrical need or emergency. Holiday periods put more stress on your home's electrical system, more activity, more lights being used, increased appliance use, and more. Here are 3 holiday electrical reminders from the good dudes at Gabrud's. 1. There's still time for Gabrud's to inspect your home's electrical integrity. 2. Gabrud's are the experts in backup generator installation with flexible financing options to make a whole house generator affordable. And 3. Gabrud's has live call answering 24/7. We're here any time of day, especially in case of an emergency. At Gabrud's, electrical work is all we do. And at the holidays, we're here to ensure your home and family are safe. Locally owned for more than 30 years. Call Gabrud's, G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Call the good dudes at Gabrud's, G-U-B-R-U-D-S, Gabrud's.com.
Hi, it's Margot from Bennett's Restaurants. The holidays may feel far away, but the best dates are filling fast. At Bennett's, we make every celebration effortless. Host your holiday parties in our elegant private dining rooms, or let us bring the chef-crafted catering right into your home or office. From family dinners to company parties, our team delivers the flavors, service, and holiday magic your guests will remember. Secure your holiday celebration today with Bennett's at bennettsrestaurants.com.
Out here in the middle of all these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on earth. And sometimes that's how it feels when you're going through tough times. Trouble sleeping, your mind racing. So what do? We get help. There are people in our community who are here for us. Sometimes just talking to someone can make all the difference in the world. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
I hope you're on your way to a good weekend. holiday season. A lot of holiday gatherings, parties. You like holiday parties, Ryan? You a holiday party guy?
Yes, I
Really?
do. Yeah,
Oh.
there is one holiday party that we go to every single year. Unfortunately, it seems like it's the only time we see all of those people in a given year. But yeah, looking forward to it. How about you?
Actually, I do enjoy holiday parties. It's about the only time of the year I do enjoy going to a party. I hate Halloween parties. Like, I hate that. But holiday parties, I've enjoyed those. Most of them that I've been to are pretty good. And if it's an annual deal where you know what you're getting into and you pretty much know who's going to be there, it can be a lot of fun. So, yes, I do like holiday parties.
It's not formal. You don't have to sit around the table. It's
Oh, my
usually
gosh.
buffet style. There's a game on somewhere. You can move around. Yeah. What about ugly sweaters? You ever been to one of those parties?
I have, but it's been a long time. You?
I have. It's been a couple of years though since I've done one of those. Those are really popular these days. Hell, just wear a king sweater right now, and that qualifies as an ugly sweater.
Boy, I couldn't do it. Wow. Man, oh man.
Oh, I hate
and they
to
used to have
say
the
that.
ugliest sweaters in the world when they had their old colors and their old logo. And God, it was just brutal. Brutal.
Now, you know what they should do? They should make a King's holiday sweater from the gold uniforms.
Wow.
Doesn't get much uglier than that.
Oh. You know what's amazing about our society, and I don't know if you agree with this or not, but the story as it relates to the ex-football coach, Sharon Moore, right?
Yeah.
And right now, I don't know what's true and what's not true, right? But the alleged mistress or the alleged victim in this case, however you want to, I'm using these adjectives based on headlines that I'm seeing in the media across the country. Why is it that this individual is like front page news everywhere, where people now have to completely dissect her life, her background, put her on every single publication with in-depth stories about her childhood, it's like, what is wrong with our society? It's just unbelievable to me. It really is.
It's all about clicks. You know, stories can take many different routes. And that's what I think that's what a lot of people look for. How can I bring a different angle to this? And there's not that line of, being ethical. It's over the line. How does it really relate to the story? Something that has nothing to do with what just happened there. And I mean, Grant, to think about him 48 hours ago as the Michigan head coach,
Unbelievable.
to sitting in the white jumpsuit, being
Wow.
arraigned. It's just a reminder.
Incredible.
It's just a reminder that we're all flawed. We're all dealing with something. Just because you are a coach, a player, you're making millions of dollars, doesn't take away the problems that exist in this world.
Chauncey Billups, although he pleaded not guilty, so I'm going to let that go through the judicial system. But yeah, man, happy holidays, right? Happy holidays. Jeez, incredible. The other thing I want to get into today. So you talk about popularity in leagues, right? I think we all agree the NFL is king. We don't even have to debate that. The NFL is pretty much in America in a class by itself. Think about July 1st on our sports calendar. What happens on July 1st? It's the start of NBA free agency. And what happens during NBA free agency? It's all over the place. It is the talk. It is dominating the sports news. Doesn't matter what else is going on in sports. It's NBA free agency. Like the Major League All-Star game, you wouldn't even know what's going on. Okay? Yeah. It is NBA free agency. And the reason why I bring up MLB is they're in their free agency period, right? The winter baseball meetings, some big moves like Pete Alonso going from the Mets to the Orioles. No one even talks about it. Like it's not even like news. It's like on the back page. I haven't received one call from anyone, either on the phone or on my text line asking me about anything to do with MLB free agency. It is so far off the radar if you want to compare it to the NBA and the NFL free agency, isn't it? I mean, it's light years away.
MLB is so far off the radar with the way they market stars. Look at how they do their postseason awards.
Terrible.
It's really, really bad. In fact, we do a sports show. I didn't know it was MLB free agency. I'm like, oh, a couple baseball trades being made. You know, it's about making, isn't it, Grant, what the NFL has done is they have made it a year-round calendar. Right. And the NBA is trying to replicate that. They've done a good job with free agency. But man, baseball, it's archaic. How do you market it? How do you not have Shohei Ohtani everywhere? That should be the face of the league, marketing to the younger generation.
It's incredible. What do you think about that? 916-779-0929. That's 916-779-0929. Getting a lot of comments on my softness of the Sacramento Kings. 916, Grant, the Kings need to get Charmin as the new sponsor for the arena, the home of the Sacramento Kings, Charmin Palace. I can't really dispute that. I don't know if I'd want the arena called that. I understand where you're coming from, but how about that? Charmin Palace.
Charmin Palace. Interesting. What about Dude Wipes Palace?
Wow.
That might be better.
Wow.
There you go.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Can we agree Power Balance Pavilion?
The worst ever.
The worst. Yeah.
Yes. There were some pretty bad ones over my years of being around in the NBA. A lot of times I didn't even know what it was. I had to ask someone, what's the deal with the naming rights for the arena? Like, what is that? What does that mean? So, seriously, like a lot of times you wouldn't even know what they were.
Yeah.
Seriously, you never heard of it.
Well, and I remember arena names being staples. Now they're constantly changing. It feels like they flip over in some places every few years.
All about when the contract ends, the money. And it's very expensive, as you know. Do you know that Arco was the first naming rights deal?
No. No.
Yep. That's when it all began. How about that?
They were the first.
I believe so. Yep. You can look it up. Yep. It changed everything. Changed everything. Seriously.
Good
it
job,
really
Arco.
did.
Good job.
916-779-0929. And it was a shame when the arena changed. And then how bad is Sleep Train Arena, too? That was horrible. And, you know, Sleep Train was a very reputable company and very, very big deal. But for the arena to be Sleep Train Arena, just not a good sound for an arena.
It would kind of fit now, though.
It would be perfect now. Right. Yes. Charmin Palace, though. You'll be honest with me. Do I go overboard in my criticism of Doug talking about the same things over and over again that you rarely see on the floor? Like, it's not October. It's not training camp where we heard all of this talk. And listen, you were out there every day. You were providing us with a lot of tremendous sound, interviews that you had with the players, the press conferences with Doug every day. And I told you, I go, I'm a little alarmed with some of the things that I'm hearing here because it just sounds like window dressing. It just kind of sounds like word salad. It just like it's too much of like shtick and not enough substance. And then the season started and we kept on hearing it. And then Doug went on his tirade against the critics and the media, many of whom thought it was directed at me. Doug was asked about that, not me specifically. He said, and it's not directed at any one individual. We've played over and over again, Ryan, sound from national members of the media, to Zach Lowe's, to Bill Simmons, many, many comments from those that are hosts on NBA radio, ripping this team to shreds. Like, how can you watch this team and not laugh at them? I mean, yeah, like, and I really mean that. I as somebody that like, has had this franchise near and dear to my heart. Like, it's painful for me to even talk about this way, but they're a clown show right now. And the comments that Doug makes after the games is nauseating to me. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And I know he has to answer questions, and I commend him for doing that in the tone that he does. But stop it. You're so naive to be talking about this stuff every game. It's embarrassing. I don't know how else to say it. It's embarrassing.
I think you, and this is strictly my opinion, I think you're not factoring in the coach speak factor. You're not multiplying by that, because that's what coaches do. I don't think Doug's rhetoric is that much different from Mike Brown's. Mike kept hammering certain things every single press conference, especially towards the end. I think where the criticism for Doug comes in is, okay, if you want to do that, use the pieces that can effectively do that.
Well, when Doug talks about the holding your head high and all of that, that's a bunch of nonsense. This team is checked out, okay? Like, other than a couple of moments here and there, that your body language, just look at this team during the timeouts. Look at this team when they're sitting on the bench. It's like you're not dealing with reality. Stop it already. It's just nauseating. 916-779-0929. NFL. Let's talk some freaking football when we come back. Enough of this putrid, embarrassing, horrible franchise that is currently the Sacramento Kings. NFL. Yes, give it to me. Next on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Tired of the same old routine? Need a place where the beer flows and the good times roll? Then head to Fieldhouse American Sports Pub, 1833 Fulton Avenue. Family owned and operated, so you know you'll feel right at home. Catch all your favorite games on 18 big screens while enjoying amazing food. And with 28 beers on tap, you're sure to find something you love. And don't miss everyday happy hour from 3 to 7 and again from 10 till close. Looking for more than just the game? Trivia Tuesday starts at 7 p.m. And there's Mario Kart and bingo nights for even more fun, too. There's always a blast happening at Fieldhouse. Whether you're looking for a place to watch the game, grab a bite with the family, or just unwind with friends, Fieldhouse is the place to be. Fieldhouse American Sports Pub, 1833 Fulton Avenue. Bring it to the house.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now, with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free offer.
800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. That's 800-690-8445.
The holidays are here, and Gabrud Services is here for any electrical need or emergency. Holiday periods put more stress on your home's electrical system, more activity, more lights being used, increased appliance use, and more. Here are 3 holiday electrical reminders from the good dudes at Gabrud's. 1. There's still time for Gabrud's to inspect your home's electrical integrity. 2. Gabrud's are the experts in backup generator installation with flexible financing options to make a whole house generator affordable. And 3. Gabrud's has live call answering 24/7. We're here any time of day, especially in case of an emergency. At Gabrud's, electrical work is all we do. And at the holidays, we're here to ensure your home and family are safe. Locally owned for more than 30 years. Call Gabrud's, G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Call the good dudes at Gabrud's, G-U-B-R-U-D-S, Gabrud's.com.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Grant Napear is back every weekday afternoon, 3 to 6. This is Fox Sports, KSAC 890 AM Olivehurst, K284CM 104.7 FM Sacramento.
Football League. You know, when I think about the NFL over the holidays, it takes me back to my childhood. And I've shared with you that we were about, with traffic on the Long Island Expressway, which is considered the longest parking lot in the world, but the LIE, which goes pretty much from Queens all the way out to the end of Long Island at Montauk Point, we used to drive into the city, and then my dad would find a place to park, which was not always easy because he wasn't going to pay to park. And then we would walk to church, normally not more than a couple blocks, but it was always cold. And like the last thing I wanted to do is go to Sunday school. But I was like, okay, I can sit in here for an hour and 15 minutes until my dad gets us out of there early to walk us to the subway, to get on the subway to go to Yankee Stadium to watch the Giants, who were really bad when I was growing up. But when I think of, like, for me, football over the holidays, the one thing that always stands out to me in New York, particularly after the games, when the sun started to go down and if you've never been to New York City over the holidays, it's truly magical. I don't know how else to say it. Like Manhattan during the holidays is magical, so much so that people really come from all over the world to experience New York City during the holidays. The roasting chestnuts on the sidewalk, the Salvation Army Santas everywhere ringing the bell, the hot pretzels over the charcoal grill on the corners, like the smell was just unbelievable. The constant, as I said, the ringing of the bells, the beautiful decorations if you were going to walk along Fifth Avenue or go near where Macy's, that had the most unbelievable window displays that you could ever picture in the world. I mean, it was like, I remember going to the game and I remember coming back from the game and like being bundled up and knowing that you were going to freeze at the game. And then this just entered my mind. You want to talk about like technology, right? Now think about this. So at Yankee Stadium, I started going to the games in the 60s. Now, this is unbelievable. Bob Shepard, who is referred to as the voice of God, the longtime public address announcer for the New York Yankees and the New York Football Giants. Do you know that during the game, about once a half, Bob Shepard would read the scores from the other games going around in the NFL? Because you did not have, in many instances, the scoreboard with the scores of the other games. And when Bob Shepard would read the scores of the other games, you would hear the reaction from the crowd. If it was an upset, something that was very surprising, you'd hear a collective, whoa! Like, it was unbelievable. Like, to get the scores that way, because that's the only access you had to scores from around the league. But I think about football in December. I think about, like, games that are meaningful. And the Giants were never good when I was growing up, but if you were playing a really good team that was going for something, and the Giants in their prevent offense, they always had a good defense. Always had a good defense, could keep it close and stay into the game in the fourth quarter. It was always fun. It really was. It was always fun to be at the game. All right, here's something I want to get into. This is from Taxman on X, and I'm seeing what you're writing. Kings are a lost cause. Grant, please use your platform to promote UC Davis's home football playoff game tomorrow at 2 p.m. The game is a semifinal, and it's good fun. Get some fans out there. You know what? Good job. I will. There you have it. UC Davis, tomorrow, 2 o'clock. Local football. I'm a huge UC Davis guy. You're right. I haven't talked about it today. I haven't talked about it since last week as they take on the Redbirds of Illinois State. And I covered Illinois State football for 3 years. So I've been to many of the Redbird game. Illinois State. UC Davis, Illinois State, tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Go Aggies. Go Aggies. I hope they win. I hope it's awesome. And it would be phenomenal to see them win this game. Good job by you, Taxman. Good job. I saw it. I see it. I talk about it. And I'm all over it. So thank you very much. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think about the game tomorrow? The Redbirds 10 up and 4 down this year, right? And Illinois State, I have not followed, obviously. They're on a heck of a run. What about home field advantage? How much does it really mean? If you're going to go back to last year, and again, I don't know how relevant in college football because you have so many seniors that leave programs. UC Davis destroyed Illinois State in the playoffs. What was it, like 42 to 10 or something, right? And so last year, that was the last time they met, and it was men against boys. Now, what's surprising to me about this game, Illinois State was not expected to beat North Dakota State, and they were able to do it. They beat North Dakota State in a huge upset, 29-28, and they are really good on the road. All right. Now, we know about Caden Pinnock for UC Davis, right? And he's a freshman. I mean, that's pretty impressive. You look at this game, I think UC Davis should win this game. They're really good on offense. They are really good in terms of total yards per play. They put points on the board. What I like about UC Davis is they're really good with balance in terms of passing the ball and running the ball. So this is offense against defense, because the one thing that Illinois State does is they play really tough defense, something you don't see in Sacramento if you go to a Kings game. They actually are gritty. Doug would love watching Illinois State play because they're handsy. They've got a degree of physicality. Like, if Doug is going to be probably on the airplane flying to Minneapolis, maybe he can stream the game and he can watch a handsy, gritty, aggressive, physical defense and Illinois State. And they get after it on defense. So here's the matchup. Offense for UC Davis, defense for Illinois State. Good luck to the Aggies. Good luck to the Aggies. Rhino, good job by Taxman there to promote UC Davis football tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Local football in the area. Check it out. I'm with you, Taxman. Good job, buddy.
Well done, Taxman. This is perfect football weather, too.
Yes.
Let's
Not Buffalo,
go.
not North Dakota State weather. not Buffalo weather, not Minneapolis outdoors. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I'm with it.
Just enough of a chill. The lights will start to come on right towards the end of the fourth quarter.
Yes.
Love it.
And the weather forecast for tomorrow is perfect. Sunny, right? High of 51, low of 39. Perfect. Go out and golf, too, a little bit. That's not bad golf weather. I mean, you can get some golf in. Have you ever been to New York City and seen Macy's at the holidays?
Yes, I have. I went to...
Is it unbelievable or what? Seriously.
Yeah, we waited to see the light show in the windows where the snowflakes would put on a little show. We went for New Year's, and it was an unforgettable trip. And luckily, one of my best friend's brother lived in New York and worked for MTV, so he really took us around and gave us the entire experience. It's a memory I treasure. It's one of those trips I'll never forget.
By the way, while we're talking about local football, I wish the best to the Folsom Bulldogs tonight as they're taking on Cathedral Catholic in the 1AA championship down in Southern California. Mission Viejo, California, right? There you have it.
Grant,
I've never been able to say that. Hey, that is going to be, I'm really hoping Folsom, I mean, you want to talk about year in, year out, always being relevant, always being good. That is good luck to them.
So
13-1 against 11-2.
So I hit up Joe D right when the game was supposed to start last week, and I'm like, is this thing on TV? How do I get it? And he told me the online streaming network. So I shelled out the $13.99 to watch them in Reardon last week. And Ryder Lyons got hurt, and their backup, Brody, came in and followed through and brought him back for the win because it didn't look like Folsom was going to win that football game. So good job, Brody. Good luck tonight to Folsom.
Yeah, and you can stream the game on the NFHS network. So, yeah, you can check it out. So what do you think? I listen, I'm not going to lie to you and say I've been following high school football well enough to talk about this game. But I love talking about local football, and I'm just really hoping when you talk about Ryder Lyons, I mean, what he did is unbelievable for Folsom. The difference in this game, you know, Folsom is pass, right? They're not a running team. They're a passing team. They've got a pair of 1,000-yard receivers.
Yeah.
They throw the ball all over the lot, as they should when you have a quarterback like that. So, and by the way, if you're talking about who you're going to see at the next level, Cathedral Catholic had 5 players sign in last week's early signing period. I'm not even going to mention the names because they won't mean anything to you, but here are the schools: Minnesota, San Jose State, USD, USC, and Davidson. Folsom with 8. Lions, of course, who know BYU, Hill, Stanford, Powell, Oregon State. I think Brooks Dupree, good for him going to Army. Bless you, sir. That is great.
Yep.
August Dupree, Dartmouth, Isaiah Williams, Nevada, and another player, I can't remember the name, Diakonov. I can't pronounce the name right, USC. And the reason why I point that out, I have so much admiration and so much respect for young men and women who go to an academy, and whether you go into Army or Air Force or Navy, because I had friends coming out of high school that did that, and I was able to follow their career path. And I know the discipline and the fortitude. I could never do it. I'll just be very honest. I would last a week in an academy. I have so much respect when these young men and women decide that, first of all, they're academically good enough and they have everything, because it's very difficult to get into one of our military academies.
Yeah.
I love seeing that. That's great. I just, that much respect. Brooks Dupree going to Army, much respect, sir.
Especially in this time in our world right now, because it's, you know, things are high, tensions are high across the world. You might not do good as a member of the academy, but you would make a heck of a drill sergeant.
Oh, boy. Can you even do that now? I mean, aren't the rules so different now? Can I be like a tough New Yorker, or I got to go in there and be Mr. Sharman? Like, how would that work?
No. Your plebes would not be living in the Sharman Palace. I think you can have some edge.
Okay. So do I want the plebes, the cadets? Do I want to go Air Force and be in beautiful Colorado? Do I want to be on the banks of the Hudson River or beautiful Annapolis? You know my fondness for Annapolis, being inside the Naval Academy and staying on the Naval Academy in the visiting barracks twice, once in high school, once in college. That was a big thrill for me.
You feel like a sailor to me.
A sailor?
Yes.
Well, my dad was in the Navy in World War II, so I would have to follow in my dad's footsteps.
There you
Okay.
go. There you go. Decision made.
Yeah. All right. I'm a Navy guy then. All right. Don't get mad at me if you're an Army or an Air Force. I only just chose that right now. And whether you are in the Army or the Air Force, I have much respect. We all have much respect. If you served our country, bless you and thank you. And I've never done it, but I have many friends that have, and I've talked to them. I have a couple of really good friends that were Navy pilots in the Gulf War and what that was like, flying just above the water. And it was like, yeah, we would sometimes sleep. I'm like, what do you mean you would sleep? It's like, well, you're on long missions and you get a little wink. It's on autopilot. You're flying 50 feet over the water. I'm like, you're not sleeping. Come on, stop it. Would you please? But it was but I mean, it's pretty amazing because I have so much respect for all of our military personnel. But there is something about talking to a Navy pilot and get their perspective of what it was like to land their fighter jet on an aircraft carrier. That stuff is riveting to me.
So riveting. The cable that catches
Oh my
them.
gosh.
And now there's planes that can hover and land.
Yes.
Insane.
How about that?
Yeah.
Isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
I used to love talking to my buddies about that. I'm like, okay, so tell me about the worst thing that happened. What's the worst thing that could happen? Because, well, the worst thing that happened is your plane goes into the ocean. He said, but it's you got to be on your game. I'm like, yeah,
but
I would think you got to be on your game.
At least there's a backup plan. You can eject, right? If I'm in a passenger plane, I can't eject. I don't have a parachute.
But when you're multi-million-dollar aircraft is lost, they're not too happy about that. But yes, they're happy that you're alive.
Yeah, you might get a write up for that.
Oh my gosh. Oh, so anyway, I just wanted to single that individual out, because I have the utmost respect for young men and women that choose a military academy if they can get into it. I mean, they're so hard to get into it. And I'll tell you, with the Army-Navy game, which is one of my most favorite games of the year, tomorrow, when CBS televises this game, if I don't watch the game live, the first thing I do is I go back and I watch the open. The teases they put together for the Army-Navy football game is must watch. They do an incredible job putting together the tease, the intro leading up for the annual Army-Navy game. It's incredible.
Never seen one, but I will tomorrow.
Google it up. Just Google it. You can look it up right now during a commercial break. Just go CBS Army-Navy tease. Go look at last year or the year before. It is riveting. It is absolutely unbelievable. It's great. It is. You know what else is great? Dealing with someone that really knows what they're doing when it comes to one of the biggest purchases of your life, one of the biggest decisions of your life. That's real estate. Buying a home, selling a home. I mean, these are big-time decisions, right? Maybe you need a home equity line of credit. You want experience. You want a specialist. You want somebody that's been there and done that. That's Spencer Grimmenstein of Village Financial Group, who I vouch for. I've known for 25 years. And the broker owner of Village Financial Group, he's on top of his game. He is a specialist when it comes to financing. He's very creative. He has access to private money. And he's fine if you want to shoot him a text. Call or text Spence, 916-805-4868. That's 805-4868. He is awesome at what he does. And if you go online to Village Financial Group's website, vfgloans.com, you'll find over 9,000 properties available for purchase. It makes sense to call Spence at 916-805-4868. Village Financial Group, looking out for your best interest. Let me pass out those numbers again. Text the show, call the show, 916-779-0929. If you're streaming the show over on YouTube, glad to have you there. Thank you very much for your comments and your feedback. We appreciate that. That's all ahead right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Hi, it's Margot from Bennett's Restaurants. Start your weekend off right with Bennett's Bubbles and Brunch. Every Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 2, enjoy 2 entrees and a bottle of Prosecco for just $49. Indulge in favorites like our Dungeness crab omelet, country fried steak, or eggs Benedict. Whether you're celebrating, catching up with friends, or just treating yourself, brunch at Bennett's is always the right occasion. Come raise a glass, your table is waiting. Reserve now at bennettsrestaurants.com. That's bennettsrestaurants.com.
For more than 4 decades, Sierra Pacific Home and Comfort has been trusted by home and business owners for their professional expertise in heating, air conditioning, and solar energy. Your home is your castle, and at Sierra Pacific, we thank you for 40 great years of trusting us to protect your castle. Sierra Pacific Home and Comfort, solar, heating, and air. SierraPacificHome.com.
Sierra Pacific Solar Heating and Air. The guys in the big red trucks.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
All right, the NFL this weekend started last night. 19 penalties and you win the game? Are you kidding me? Like, how does that happen? That was incredible last night. I still don't know how Tampa lost that game. 29-28. What a terrible division that is. I can't wait for these games coming up on Sunday. Packers, Broncos, Lions, Rams. 2 best games on the card. And I also think the Dolphins, Steelers is going to be very close. But especially without Watt and what happened to him this week. But if I'm looking at this game, this Packers, Broncos game, it is so intriguing to me. It really is. I think it's going to be very low scoring. Micah Parsons has just been unbelievable lately. Well, ever since he walked into the league. But this is going to be very interesting to see how Sean Payton tries to attack this Green Bay defense with Micah Parsons. Josh Jacobs back on the field today, listed as questionable, but I can't imagine him not playing. But Parsons and this defense against Bo Nix and the 10-game in a row winning Denver Broncos. You know, the Broncos are underdogs in this game, Ryan. Think about that. You're 11-2, you're at home, and you're an underdog. How about that?
So Vegas is seeing the same things that many other people are seeing. They're a little bit worried about it.
Yep, I guess. We're going to have our picks coming up next hour. Rhino, I'm sorry that I called you out my open. I apologize. Over the holidays, that's not very nice. I'm sorry.
No, it was well deserved, and I'm surprised it didn't happen earlier. This has been a trend, Grant. I commend you for waiting.
It's okay.
Yeah, I have a new technique now.
Yes, 1-0, off to a good start last night, although that's not official for what we're doing, but you've got a secret weapon that you're going to, and I think that's a good move on your part.
Yep, so we'll reveal those picks in hour 3. We'll also let you know who our winner of the $100 Bennett's gift card is. Go check them out, bennettsrestaurants.com.
All right, and so the other game of interest, Detroit and the Rams. I think we finally have died down on the Jared Goff for Matthew Stafford. Like it's been now 5 years or nearly 5 years. So, I don't think we have to revisit that. What you have to revisit
Let me
is,
ask you a question
yeah,
about
go
that.
ahead.
Would
Please do.
you say that trade is basically the same, if not similar, to the Sabonis-Hallie trade?
No, I would not because of the positions that they play.
Okay.
You traded a quarterback for a quarterback. You traded a big for a small.
But a big
or a small for a big.
But a big that plays quarterback to a degree.
Yes, but you're talking about the quarterback of a team in Halliburton, and you can't call Sabonis a quarterback of the Kings even when he's going good. I would not equate that just because of the different positions that they play. And I'll ask you this. Now, you asked me a question. Here's the question I'm going to throw at you. Stafford was with the Lions for a long time and could never get the team over the hump. Goff now is in his 5th season, has been very good, but they have not had success in the playoffs. If, and I know what the Rams would do, they would do that trade again in a heartbeat. They won a Super Bowl.
Right.
Would the Lions make that trade all over again if they could?
I think they would.
I do too.
I think they had kind of gotten everything they thought they could get out of Matthew Stafford for the scheme that they wanted to run. And I think it's a trade that's worked out for both teams better for LA because they won a championship. But it's not a bad trade, right?
No, it's not. No. Okay. So here's the same question for the Kings. If you could go back in time and make that trade again, would you trade Halliburton and Hield for Domantas Sabonis? Now, here's the part that is very hard to figure out. Would Halliburton have success with such a mismanaged, dysfunctional franchise like he had in Indiana with the Pacers? I doubt very much you would see the Kings in the NBA Finals, but there is that factor of the unknown. We really don't know. But if you could go back in time, what are we talking about now? 4 years ago, 3 years ago?
Yeah.
And make that deal. Would you make that deal again?
Had De'Aaron signed his first extension? He had already, right? When that deal was done? He would have had to have.
I can't remember.
Okay. Yeah, because Indy didn't want
De'Aaron. Yeah, he would.
Because
He did. Yes, he did.
Because the money was too high.
Yes.
I would still make that trade because of the way you kind of laid out my point with the question at the end. I don't think the Kings would have built around Hallie. I think they would have kept trying to make Hallie and Fox work together, and Hallie wouldn't have gotten the runway here in Sacramento that he got in Indiana, where they built perfectly around him. What about you?
I would not make that trade again because I think that there are special players that play at a key position, and I think Halliburton has all of the characteristics that you need to build a franchise around. And I think that Domantas has a lot of the similar intangibles. Everyone loves him, work ethic, professionalism. Like, I can't say anything bad about the guy. I really can't. But because of the position he plays, I would choose Halliburton because he's the true quarterback of your team.
See, but that's kind of my argument. I don't think you would have seen Hallie bloom the way that he bloomed in Indianapolis.
I understand that, but that's also something that we truly don't know. We're speculating, we're assuming. But if you're just talking about characteristics, intangibles, how good an individual is, that's what you can go by. You can't go by what you think would happen.
No, you're right. I just, there's that point where it doesn't matter if you're the worst owner in the NBA. You get to a point where with a player that you can't screw it up because that player is so special. I just question if Hallie would have gotten to that point. So that's my only holdback.
Yeah, I think one of the worst trades the Sacramento Kings have ever made was the Isaiah Thomas trade. I mean, I look back at his career when he went to Boston. Do you know that he ended up he was in the MVP conversation.
I know.
Before he got hurt. Think about that. He was the last player taken in the draft at number 60. I remember announcing a game in Cleveland when Isaiah was going against Kyrie Irving, the number 1 pick in the draft, when Isaiah was 60, and I made a comment, and I'm paraphrasing, number 60, looking like number 1 tonight here in Cleveland.
Nice.
And he dominated that game from very early on in training camp. You knew that this guy was going to be a good player, but everyone talked about his size. I put that on the back burner because I was around Spud Webb for so many years. There was just something about Isaiah Thomas where you knew he would succeed, and it's such a shame what happened to his career.
Well, Grant, even though he was short in stature, he was built well. He
was.
He could play physical. He could set a screen, and he was willing to get up in your grill defensively. He was the center of the NBA attention for much of the playoffs. I mean, he was the man, and then the unfortunate, tragic incident with his sister and playing through that. A guy like that, I feel so terrible for because he left it on the court in Boston, and Boston didn't repay him.
Yeah, he was playing because of his sister and the tragic death in the auto accident, and he ended up playing when he shouldn't have, and his body's never been the same since. And it's such a shame.
Nope.
It really is.
He is still trying to get back into the NBA this year.
Yeah, and I wish him nothing but the best. I would never, ever bet against Isaiah Thomas, but he's had so many opportunities over the last 2 years on 10-day contracts, et cetera, and he can't stick. And as he gets older, I just think the chances are less and less likely. I would love to see it, though. I'm a huge, huge fan of him. Huge fan of him.
It's the defensive end of the court for him. The offense is not the issue.
He'd be perfect in Sacramento.
Yeah. Do you think he'd be shoot too much?
I mean, he'd be perfect because he doesn't. They don't play defense anyway. That's what I mean. He'd be perfect.
It was last night just watching DeMar DeRozan get beat backdoors so many times.
It's embarrassing.
Even Keegan was a little bit off defensively last night. He missed a rotation in the first quarter that he never, ever misses, and then it turned into a three-point play.
Brian, they gave up 41 points in the first quarter. Yeah. They gave up 77 in the first half. I mean, come on now.
Grant, they had 70 points with 2 minutes left in the second quarter.
Yes, I thought they were going to get 80.
Yeah.
They had 2 possessions to get 80, and they didn't do it.
And I believe they were in the penalty as well.
They were in the penalty. And I thought that the last sequence, Jamal Murray had the ball, and I thought for sure that he was going to get either to the line with a 3-point play or they were going to set up a 3 to get that 80-point first half. I really thought that. So that was awful. All right, so the Kings are taking on Minnesota. What is that, Sunday? I mean, I don't have a good read on Minnesota still. You know how I always say I need 25 or 30 games or so? I'm not really sure who the real Minnesota Timberwolves are.
I don't think they're that good.
I agree with you. I don't either.
But Grant, the last 2 years, they've ended up in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
It's insane.
They didn't last year. It was Denver and Oklahoma City.
Oh, excuse me. Okay. Thank you for correcting me.
But they're 15-9. All right. They've only won 6 of 10. Well, I shouldn't say only, but they're 15-9. And at home, they're 8-4. And we'll see what happens. The Minnesota Timberwolves and the Kings. I'll tell you, the NBA, how happy are they that Victor Wembanyama is coming back for the semifinal game against OKC in Vegas?
I think they're rushing it to do it.
Boy, I don't. Would you, if you're the Spurs, why would you rush Victor Wembanyama on the floor? Why would you take a chance with that?
Because you want to test your best unit against that Thunder team.
But you can do it later in the year. You don't have to do it before Christmas.
There's been a lot of skepticism nationally about whether he should be playing in this or not. Well, and credit to them for letting him play. If he's healthy, let him play.
Yeah, I agree. But they play coming up on the 23rd. And I believe they play Christmas Day as well, these teams, the Spurs and the Thunder. So you could wait 2 more weeks. You have 2 games coming up with them. And then you have another game, I want to say the first or second week of January. But I looked at the schedule earlier. They still have 4 games left with Oklahoma City after this game.
Grant, those are normal games. What are you talking about? This is the NBA Cup.
Oh, yeah, the NBA Cup. That's right. Uh-huh. Yeah.
I mean, this means so much more.
Yeah. Wow. How about this from the 916? Isaiah Thomas used to go to the city council meetings to support the new arena. He was the only player that I remember doing that, Classy. Yep. The guy was the best. I loved him. One of my all-time favorite Sacramento Kings, Isaiah Thomas. Can't ever say anything bad about him. He was great with the fans, tremendous to the media. He was great to me, great to my kids, loved kids. You know, when he and his wife, their boys running around everywhere. Boy, I miss Isaiah Thomas. Miss him greatly.
Can I give you one more name to put
Yes.
on the all-time great guys of the Sacramento Kings? Wasn't here long, but Mo Evans. Mo Evans was great off the court with
Totally agree.
college players.
Yes.
With the community. He was I loved being around Mo Evans.
Said last year Minnesota did make it to the Western Conference Finals. Says they beat the Lakers in the first round and the Warriors second round. Well, then my memory is going very bad because I thought Denver played Oklahoma City in the Western Conference Finals and won 7 games.
No, that was it was the quarterfinals. Yeah, quarterfinals.
What was the quarterfinals? The quarterfinals would be the first round.
With the play.
It goes quarterfinals, semifinals, conference finals. Last year, Oklahoma City and Denver played in Game 7. Did they not?
It wasn't the conference finals.
Okay. My bad then.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Yeah, because it was like, they're back again? How? Because
my bad.
Ant ran out of gas again.
My bad.
Yeah. To me, they are a much more skilled version of the Kings. Offensively.
Really?
Yes, the ball sticks. Other guys aren't touching the ball. If Ant and Randall are going off, then watch the heck out. But when they're not, you saw the Kings come back on them. The Kings, throughout the last couple of years, have played them traditionally well. Even in their own building, they were 5-0 up until the last game in Minnesota. So they need something else. They need a stick that stirs the pot.
Yeah, that was all right. I was wrong. I stand corrected. OKC and Denver played in round 2. So you're right. Minnesota did make it to the conference finals. I don't see how they do it this year. Do you?
No, but I was saying the same thing last year. That's what's nuts about it.
NBA, other than the gimmicks of the NBA Cup, your schedule, Bulls lead the Hornets 33-29 at the end of one. Boy, the Bulls have come back down to earth. The Hawks and the Pistons in Motown, 33-32. 20 seconds left to go in the first. The Sixers are at home. They lead the Pacers 34-31 at the end of one. The Cavaliers are in Washington at the end of one, 35-24. Coming up, Jazz Grizzlies from Memphis. The Mavericks host the Nets. And the Golden State Warriors are home against the Timberwolves, the team we were just talking about. 13-12 are the Warriors. What's your read on the Warriors? Obviously you have to have Steph Curry on the floor. You're not going very far. I just wonder if you were, I don't know what's going to happen with Kuminga, but if you have Butler, Curry, and Green, just those three, all at 100% when the playoffs start, they would be a tough out, would they not? I'm not saying that I would pick them to go to the finals, but you wouldn't want to play them early in the playoffs, in my opinion.
100%. And, they're looking to make some moves, some improvements as well. I would think they are just trying to land in the top 6. That's all that they want to do. They want to land in the top 6, be healthy, and have a ticket to the dance.
Now, they're 3 games out of the top 6 right now. Speaking of the top 6, the Kings are only 10 games back in a loss column of the 6th spot. So I don't think the Kings are going to qualify automatically for the playoffs this year. I'm making that bold prediction here on the 12th of December, 2025. What do you think, Rhino? 12-12-25, the Grant Napear bold prediction. The Kings are not going to be a top 6 team in the West.
Hottest
Think
take.
that's safe?
Hottest take of the year.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that.
Sizzling.
Don't forget, hopefully a sizzling Grant's Rant coming up at 5 o'clock. Our picks. I'm 3-1 this week. Rhino is going to use his son, Liam, who got off to a good start last night by picking the Atlanta Falcons. Rhino's got a secret weapon that he's going to be utilizing this weekend. We'll see if it factors into Who's going to come out on top? We got all of that straight ahead on Fox Sports Sacramento.
The holidays are here, and Gabrud Services is here for any electrical need or emergency. Holiday periods put more stress on your home's electrical system, more activity, more lights being used, increased appliance use, and more. Here are 3 holiday electrical reminders from the good dudes at Gabrud's. 1. There's still time for Gabrud's to inspect your home's electrical integrity. 2. Gabrud's are the experts in backup generator installation with flexible financing options to make a whole house generator affordable. And 3. Gabrud's has live call answering 24/7. We're here any time of day, especially in case of an emergency. At Gabrud's, electrical work is all we do. And at the holidays, we're here to ensure your home and family are safe. Locally owned for more than 30 years. Call Gabrud's, G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Call the good dudes at Gabrud's, G-U-B-R-U-D-S, Gabrud's.com.
Looking for the perfect spot to watch the game and enjoy amazing food and drinks? Look no further than Fieldhouse American Sports Pub. Family owned and operated, Fieldhouse is passionate about creating a fun, welcoming atmosphere for everyone. Spice things up on Tuesdays with Taco Tuesday. Buy any order of our delicious tacos and get a refreshing margarita for just $6. On Wednesday, Fieldhouse features incredible drink specials. Enjoy $5 well drinks and ice cold pints all day long. Fieldhouse was voted the #1 sports bar in Sacramento. Tons of TVs, a mouth-watering menu, and daily specials. It's the perfect sports bar to catch all the action. Visit us today at 1833 Fulton Avenue. Fieldhouse American Sports Pub, where the food is fantastic, the drinks are flowing, and the good times never stop. Fieldhouse, bring it to the house.
The holidays can be a time of increased stress for those struggling with opioid or stimulant addiction. They can also be a time for pause, reflection, opportunity, and new beginnings. This holiday season, choose treatment and recovery. Embrace the company of family and friends and create special moments. Find a proven opioid or stimulant addiction treatment provider near you at choosechangeca.org.
Hey, it's Grant Napear from my friends at DAS Mechanical. Did you know most homeowners are changing their heating and air systems from gas to all electric? It's about getting more energy efficiency and saving a lot more money every month on energy bills. If your current heating and air system is 15 years or older, it may be time to consider a change. Call DAS Mechanical first. Nearly all of DAS's work is gas to electric whole system changeouts. Nick and his team, they're experts. They also have 0% financing and 24/7 availability if you ever have a heating emergency. Award-winning, locally owned. It's DAS Mechanical, serving their Sacramento and Placer County neighbors for years. Save more on your energy bills. Call, text, or chat at 530-591-1055 to find out more, or go to dasmechanical.org. That's dasmechanical.org.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
That's what we were taught, service before self.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Just got a message talking about December football with UC Davis playing tomorrow and Folsom playing tonight. Championship. We wish both of those teams very, very well. The best of luck. Well, there are two games that I always remember. One that I was at and one that changed my life around. The game that I was at was Shea Stadium, Jets, Bills, coldest game I've ever been to in my life when OJ ran for 2,000 yards. And my brother left at halftime and told me he was going to go back to the car because he was too cold and he was going to just put the heater on. And I stayed with Chris Russo, and I watched history made. There was no way I was going to leave that game. I'll never forget being there. I was so into sports and was so into records and saying I was there. Like, I just love being at live sporting events. So that was the first one. The second one was a moment that changed my life around and my career around without knowing it at the time. Back in 1982, when I was working at Bowling Green, Ohio at WKIQ. And now it's time for the funeral report. And it's brought to you by Klotz Flowers on East Wooster Street. Yeah, that 1982. So Bowling Green was playing Fresno State in the California Bowl. And I was working at the commercial radio station in Bowling Green, and we did all of the hockey games, Division I hockey, powerhouse, basketball, and football. But we were not the official station for Bowling Green football. And because of that, we were not allowed to do the California Bowl in Fresno. We did all the hockey, all the basketball. I did a lot of the hockey, some basketball, but mostly hockey. So my dad's mixed doubles tennis partner on Long Island was the wife of the owner of the Mislu Sports Network, which back then was like ESPN before ESPN became huge. And make a long story short, Vic Piano, the owner of Mislu Sports, had always told my dad, hey, if there's anything we can do for Grant, let me know. So the game is in California, and I get in touch with Vic Piano. I'm saying, hey, I work in Bowling Green. They're going to believe. He gives me the phone number of the executive producer, Bill Schwing. I call Bill, have a short conversation with Bill, and he said, be at this hotel on Friday night at 6 o'clock, which would have been December 17th. So I'm at this meeting. I fly out to California, Northern California. Never been to California. Never realized what my life would become because of this trip to California. And I'm sitting at this meeting. I'm at this conference table. And the meeting ends. And Bill Schwing looks at me and goes, now, I'm sorry. Who are you again? And what do you want? I explain. He goes, oh, yeah. He said, well, I got to be honest. He goes, I would love to have someone do the halftime so I could give my announcers a break. Howard David, by the way, was doing the play-by-play, who I became very close with after that, the longtime voice of the Nets and the Celtics. Howard also was the voice of Monday Night Football for many years on Westwood One. He was a very established broadcaster. And so I would always see Howard. And anyway, he says, you'd be at the stadium tomorrow, 3 hours before the game, and I'll give you an audition. He goes, listen, I just can't let you on unless I see your work. He said, I said, I understand. If I'm not good enough, no problem. So I've shared this story before, but I get to the stadium 3 hours before the game, and they're having all these technical difficulties in the truck, and I never get a chance to do an audition. So I'm standing in the back of the broadcast booth at the California Bowl, Fresno, Bowling Green, Fresno State. And there's probably 6 or 7 minutes left to go in the first half. And I called the stage manager over, and I said to her, can you please ask Bill if I'm going to be doing halftime or not? And she said, okay, you're going to be doing halftime. Bill wants you to interview the commissioner of the Mid-American Conference, and we might have a highlight or two and some stats. Can you do that? I go, absolutely 100%. I've never been on TV before. Not once. Never. Never been in a TV station. Never been in front of a live TV camera. This is national TV. December 18th, 1982. I graduated from Bowling Green in 81. So I do the interview with the athletic director at Bowling Green. I think his name was Jim Lessick. May have been the commissioner of the MAC back then, but whatever it was, I interviewed Jim Lessick. I do the little package after the commercial break, stats, a highlight or two. And I'm like, wow, okay. And I'm walking out of the stadium after the game, which was a thrilling game. It was like a 1-point game. I do remember that. And I'm walking by the TV truck, and Bill Schwing just happens to open up the door to the TV truck. And he goes, Grant, oh, my God. He goes, we were so nervous in that truck. You have no idea. But he goes, you really did a good job. You knocked it out of the park. And I wish you the very best in your career. And I'm like, wow. And so this was December. And that led to my first opportunity to be in a TV station because months later, the ABC sports director in Toledo, who I had known, I'd seen at a lot of Bowling Green events, came up to me and said, Grant, how are you, man? I go, good, Jim. How are you? He goes, I didn't know you did TV. I go, I didn't know I did TV either. And he laughed and said, hey, I'm taking 6 weeks off this summer, and the weekend sports anchor is going to be filling it for me. Would you like to come up and do an audition? And I'm like, sure. So I came up June 18th, 1983, my birthday, did an audition. I got the job as a fill-in, $5 an hour. And that's how I got my resume tape to send out that began my career in television. But what's amazing to me about football in December is I wake up the next morning to fly back home, and just like it's been in Sacramento and in the Valley for so long over the last week, the Thule fog. And I remember waking up and looking out the window, and I couldn't even see the parking lot. And I'm like, oh, my gosh. So anyway, the flight's canceled out of Fresno. The airport's closed. So I end up, I don't know what the laws were back then. I wouldn't have been able to do it now, but I rented a car, and I drove to San Francisco, Fresno. And I'll never forget coming out of the Valley and going up into San Jose, and all of a sudden there wasn't a cloud in the sky. And for me, being in Bowling Green, Ohio, where everything is gray and brown and disgusting, to be in California in December with trees that are green, grass that is green, blue sky. I got my windows rolled down. It's in the low 60s. And I find my way to the Bay Bridge, and I'm driving across the Bay Bridge, and I'm looking at all of the sailboats, and I really thought I had died and ended up in heaven. All right? I'm just looking at all of this for the first time, and so I have no idea where I'm going, and I end up driving to the Golden Gate Bridge, and I drive over the Golden Gate Bridge, which has always been a huge dream of mine, and then I go up that road to the left of the Golden Gate Bridge, and to this day, I'll never forget that drive and the beauty of that drive. It's still in my mind today. And as it turned out, I had a red-eye flight that night out of San Francisco that they had rescheduled me on. They had rebooked me. And the 49ers were playing the Atlanta Falcons that night. December 19th, 1982, Sunday Night Football. And I go to the Stick, and I'm just so excited to see Candlestick Park. Like, I cannot believe I'm in the parking lot of Candlestick Park. Now my problem is, how am I going to get into the game? I don't have a lot of money. And I'm like, okay, I got to figure out. And I'm standing outside the stadium, and this man walks up to me and goes, hey, do you need a ticket for the game tonight? I go, wow, I really do. I said, how much is it? He goes, you know what? My buddy couldn't make it. I have an extra ticket. Just here, you can come. And I sit next to this individual, and he started talking to me, and I talked to him. I go, hey, I just can't thank you enough. I've never been to San Francisco before. I explained to him what I was doing. He was just blown away. I said, this is such a thrill for me to be at this stadium right now on Sunday Night Football. And then I watched the game, then drove to SFO and flew back to Ohio. But that was a weekend that changed my life in many ways. And little did I know, as I was sitting there in Candlestick Park in 1982, fast forward to the early 2000s, and I park my car, Candlestick Park, and it's another beautiful day, but it's August, but it's very blue skies, beautiful temperature, everything was great. And I walk through the press entrance, and I walk onto the field. I crossed the field as I'm getting ready to prepare to announce the Raiders 49ers game at Candlestick Park, where I was for the first time on December 19th, 1982. And as I walked across the field that day in the early 2000s, in August, getting ready to televise and do the play-by-play of the Raiders and the 49ers, I thought about that weekend. I thought about how hospitable, I should say, that gentleman was, the 49ers season ticket holder, Steve Bartkowski of the Falcons, Joe Montana. And I'm thinking about how blessed I was. And then to think as I was walking across that field and I'm looking in the stands and it's 3 hours before the game, nobody's there. And what was going through my mind, like, it was just a wow moment. But that weekend had such a profound impact on my career and on my life, because if I had messed up that national TV appearance on the Ms. Lou Sports Network, Jim Tishy would have never come up to me and asked me to fill in. I would have never been on TV in Toledo, which means I would have never ended up in Central Illinois, which means I would have never ended up in Sacramento because I took the 4th of July weekend off in 1987 to attend a wedding. And that's where I met the vice president of Koppler Communications, who told me about the opening in Sacramento. And I sent a tape out, and 2 weeks later, I'm in Sacramento as the sports director at Channel 31. And 9 months after I arrived in Sacramento for the first time in July of 87, I was the TV voice of the Sacramento Kings. So, like, you talk about being in the right place at the right time, but for all of you that are listening, that are aspiring broadcasters or aspiring to do whatever you want to do, be prepared. Don't ever let that moment come, because it will be there for you. You are going to have a moment in your life. Be prepared. Don't ever not be prepared. You never know when that moment's going to arrive. If it's something that you want, if it is a dream of yours, if it is something that you have aspired to do, if you have wondered if you can do it or not, you can do it, but you better be prepared when you get your opportunity, because I believe that everyone in life will get an opportunity. It's what you do with that opportunity. So those two instances, being at the game to watch OJ run for over 2,000 yards, being on national TV, first time I was ever on TV, and being at Candlestick Park on December 19th, 1982, to see the Falcons and the 49ers after a beautiful drive through San Francisco and the Golden Gate Bridge. And as I sat there, I had no way of knowing and no idea that I would be at Candlestick Park for many, many, many games, and as someone that was in the broadcast booth announcing the 49ers and the Raiders. Yeah, I'm blessed. I'm blessed. And I don't mind talking about it. I'm blessed. So as we go to break and get ready for my rant, just remember, be prepared. There is no substitution in life for being ready. As Uriah Faber told me in studio after one of his fights, and he was going to take a couple of months off, and he did take a couple of months off, and I asked him about getting ready for his next fight, and he said, hey, if you stay ready, you don't have to worry about getting ready. I'm like, wow. If you stay ready, you don't have to worry about getting ready. Be ready this holiday season. Those are my words of wisdom. Be ready. Be prepared. It's going to happen. What are you going to do with it when that ship comes into port for that one day? Are you going to get on the ship, or are you going to let that ship leave without you? What are you going to do? Be prepared. Do it. Get focused. I'm going to get focused for Grant's Rant coming up next right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Cameron, I just think we need to, see other people.
Are you trading me in?
No. A trade-in is what I'm getting from Kitchen Mart.
A trade-in?
Right now, Kitchen Mart's offering a $750 credit when you trade in your old kitchen countertops for something worth showing off, like granite, marble, or solid surface.
I'm not worth showing off?
Not like the stunning new quartz countertops Kitchen Mart just installed for Karen and Tom.
Huh.
Durable, easy cleanup, made their kitchen look brand new. And Kitchen Mart gave them a $750 trade-in credit to haul off their ugly old tile and grout countertop.
You're dumping me.
That's harsh. You want me to wait till I get the new countertops from Kitchen Mart?
At least hold off till Wednesday. I'm seeing Susan.
Susan!
Now's the perfect time to trade up to beautiful new quartz, granite, marble, or solid surface countertops. Because for a limited time, Kitchen Mart's offering a $750 trade-in credit for your old countertops. Go to kitchenmart.com today and schedule a free in-home consultation and save $750 off new countertops.
No one does it better than
kitchenmart.com.
Hey, it's Grant Napear for Village Financial Group. I have known broker owner Spencer Grimmenstein for 25 years, ever since he began his family-owned business. Whether it's a home equity line of credit or buying or selling a home, Spencer is a very creative financing specialist with access to private money. Check out Village Financial Group at vfgloans.com or call Spencer at 916-805-4868. Be sure and call for the investor special. And if you go to their website, vfgloans.com, you can find over 9,000 properties available for purchase. Folks, Spencer is awesome. Trust me. Again, I've known the guy since 2000. It makes sense to call Spence at 916-805-4868. Village Financial Group, looking out for your best interest. Call 916-805-4868.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. As we roll into Week 15, the NFL is offering another reminder of why early season proclamations age about as well as milk. Back in September, Buccaneers look like a force in the NFC. Baker Mayfield had MVP credentials. 6-2 Buccaneers look like a team built to last. After a loss to the Falcons last night, Tampa sits at 7-7. The Colts living the same story, just a different cover. A blistering opening to the season had Indy perched atop the AFC. But injuries and erratic play have dragged them back to the pack. At 8-5, they suddenly find themselves staring up in their own division. A reminder, momentum is the NFL's most fickle currency. And then there's Houston. Left for dead at 3-5, the Texans have ripped off 5 in a row and now look like a legitimate AFC problem. The beginning rarely matches the ending, and this year's plot twist is arriving right on schedule. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise.
This holiday season, skip the same old gifts and send something that's truly unforgettable. From Heartland Steak Company, we're talking premium, hand-cut Midwestern meats such as USDA Prime and Choice Beef, all-natural pork, and tender chicken, all delivered straight to their door with care and convenience. Whether you're shopping for family, friends, clients, or anyone who appreciates bold flavor and quality meats, Heartland Steak Co. has something for everyone. Choose from Grillmaster packages, holiday gift boxes, or freezer fillers, each one hand-picked, flash frozen, and packed to preserve unbeatable freshness and taste. It's the perfect way to share the true Midwest flavor this season. Ordering is quick and easy at heartlandsteakco.com. And when you order right now and spend $199.99 or more, you'll receive free shipping plus $25 off your order with promo code GIFT. Give the gift of flavor this holiday season with Heartland Steak Co. That's heartlandsteakco.com. And don't forget to use promo code GIFT. Taste the Heartland difference.
Grant's back. Join the conversation every weekday afternoon beginning at 3 p.m. KSAC 890 AM Olivehurst, K284CM 104.7 FM Sacramento.
It's time for Grant.
Let's do it. Let's get ready for the weekend.
Grant, in a bizarre situation with the Steelers, TJ Watt ended up having surgery for a partially collapsed lung that was the result of a dry needle treatment in the facility. How can that happen? That's your first option. Second option, there's a post going around social media right now. It's got over 4 million views. My guy Drew posted it, of the King's Celebrity Row last night. The problem is nobody knew any of the celebrities. One of them included ex-NFL quarterback Will Levis. There was another ex-NFL quarterback. And yeah, a picture of them sitting with Vivek. And the Kings fans are having a fun time with that right now.
All right, let me stop. Before we get to the other one, let me stop. Is there now a thing at the arena called Celebrity Row? That's part of the I don't know. Is it exists?
If there is a celebrity in the house,
Yep.
they will, and they're sitting in the front row, they will put a graphic on the Jumbotron during a timeout announcing, let's see who's sitting, what celebrities are here tonight. And it's got red carpet and linings and everything else. So, all right, here's your last one. It is December 12th. It is 12/12, Grant. My buddy Tyler created this thing that ended up going kind of viral called the 12x12 challenge. Therefore, it is a holiday right now. And the guys, many people across the nation are gearing up for a dinner that consists of 12 tacos and 12 beers. Here's the catch.
Jeez.
Whoever finishes quickest is the winner. Grant, would you ever do the 12x12 challenge? How would you fire somebody up for that? How ridiculous is it? Let me know.
If you win, do you get tacos as the gift? I mean, what do you get if you win? If you're the fastest,
you get bragging rights for the rest of the year.
I'll pass. Okay, so I want to get back to Will Levis or Celebrity Row. First of all, why would anyone right now, especially a celebrity, decide that if they happen to be in Sacramento, they're going to go to a game? Unless you're going to watch LeBron play or Luka or SGA or Nikola Jokic like last night. Like you wouldn't go to a game right now to watch the Kings, right? Can we just agree on that? You're not going to go to the arena to watch a member of the Kings play. You're just not. Period. And then, do they have to sit next to the guy that loves, quote unquote, famous people, celebrities, next to him wherever he goes? That would be Vivek Ranadive, who lives his entire life over pictures of himself with, quote unquote, famous people and celebrities. Could you imagine living your life where the importance of your life stems from being around well-known people to improve your stature, to make you look like you're in the know and all of that? How shallow is that? Seriously, how freaking shallow is that? You got regular buddies? You got regular people you hang out with? Or only well-known people that you want seen right next to you? So when you're on TV, it's like, oh, wow, Vivek's sitting next to this person today. He's sitting next to that person. Oh, he's sitting next to, no matter where you go, that's what it's all about. Period. It's what it is all about. It's unbelievable to me. So as far as Celebrity Row or not being on Celebrity Row, like, I don't understand why you would want to go to a game anyway. Seriously. And Rhino just sent me a picture of this Celebrity Row. Wow. I don't know. Now, I don't see Vivek in there, but I believe he's two to the right. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that is a suit worn by Alvin Gentry. And then Vivek is sitting right next to him as I'm looking at this picture with all of the empty seats in the background. I wonder, are celebrities going to still be going to the games? Are they going to be like going because they get wined and dined and they can go watch a player on another team? I mean, Celebrity Row in Sacramento. Celebrity Row used to be a thing when the Kings were good. Like, there were celebrities that would actually go to the game, that would want to go to the game, that enjoyed going to the game. Now, seriously? Really? Celebrity Row at a Kings game? Come on. Please, stop it. And that's my rant for today. Now, I want to get back to something you just said, Rhino. Let me get this straight. 12 tacos, 12 beers, and the winner is determined by how fast you can eat the tacos, and drink the 12 beers?
Correct. Wow. And you have no idea the strategy that these guys go into.
Are these 12-ounce beers?
These are 12-ounce beers.
Wow.
There's strategy between the soft tacos and the crispy tacos. There's strategy about...
Whoa. The crispy tacos, now that would be challenging to eat those fast and not get the shell stuck in your throat. You could wash it down with beer, but okay, that's interesting. So go ahead.
So there's nuance there. See, the soft tacos, though, take up more room, right? And then there's nuances about, well, do you take a few tacos down before you start drinking the beer?
You mean there's a skill to this?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. This is a big deal. This is like Nathan's hot dog eating contest, big deal for a large group of adults that listen to this show and some other shows, as Jim Rome, for instance. But yes, any words of inspiration for these gentlemen?
Yeah, better you than me.
Any chance? Like, how many could you get through, do you think, if you tried to do this?
I would probably be able to get through. Well, first of all, I would have to do it very quickly. Is that correct?
If you want to win, it's really about finishing. You've got a couple of the top contenders that are going to race it, but the challenge is really to finish.
Okay. I wouldn't be able to do the tacos. Would not be a problem. I could easily do 12 tacos.
Yes.
There's no way in the world I could drink 12 beers quickly, even if I was in college. Like, I mean, I could drink 12 beers. That's not a problem. That would not be an issue. I told you the story when we were in Miami on an off day, right?
Yes.
I don't mind telling this story. So we have an off day in Miami, and me and the boys in the truck, we went and rented a boat, and it was like 80 in the low 80s. It was the middle of winter. It was just perfect. And so we have an off day, and we stop at the local beverage store, and we get what we want. We had a designated driver. One of our individuals said, "I'll just drive the boat. You guys can drink, you can have fun, and we'll have a great day." So we get out on the water in Miami in Biscayne Bay at about 10 a.m. There's a case of Coors Lights that I had bought, and there is a host of other beverages, adult beverages, right? So we stay on the boat until 6 o'clock. So 8 hours. And we stop for lunch right along. You can get off Biscayne Bay and go up I think it's called the Miami River, and there's all kinds of restaurants and bars you can hop off and you can sit outside, whatever. So we're getting off the boat at 6. All right? And there's one Coors Light in the boat. 23 are gone. And the driver said, "Hey, who wants this last Coors Light?" And Mike, who is the designated driver, said, hey, we got one Coors Light. Who wants it? And everyone starts pointing at me, and they go, "Well, he's the only one that was drinking Coors Light today." And I'm like, whoa, what? They're like, "Dude, we're not drinking beer. Look at us. We didn't have beer at all day. I drank 23 Coors Lights between 10 in the morning and 6 in the evening," which really, that's not that bad. That's like 3 an hour for 8 hours.
No, and it's a light beer, right?
It's a light beer, and listen, other than like having to go pee every 15 minutes off the side of the boat, it was not a problem. You know what I mean?
So you didn't just jump in the ocean and take care of business?
Sometimes I did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you were hammering IPAs or stouts, no
way.
chance. Especially the Sun, Grant, that would have just not. How'd you feel the next day?
Well, I didn't feel very good because that night we went out to South Beach.
So the party.
Okay, so we went back to the hotel. We took a shower. We met in the lobby. We got in a car and went over to South Beach and had dinner and then hung out somewhere else. So I didn't feel real good the next day, but I was still able to focus and do my job announcing the game.
So,
by the way, I don't do that very often, but that was like, but what is so funny when Mike goes, "Hey, who wants this last Coors Light?" And the other 4 guys just point at me. And I'm like, "No, you can have it." And they're like, "Dude, None of us are drinking beer. You're the only one that's drinking beer.
If I had to draw your day on a chart, you maybe have 3 inches going up when you had your first couple beers, and then it's just a straight line across of maintaining.
Yeah.
And then it shoots straight up when you get to South Beach.
And I was fine when I got off the boat, and I was fine. I wasn't going to drive a car fine, but I was fine. Went back to the hotel, got freshened up. I'm like, good, this is going to be great. We're going to have a fun night. And I think we got in at like midnight that night. And, I was a little tired the next day, but I don't drink hard alcohol. And everyone's different. I don't drink whiskey. And if I want to go out and drink, I'll drink beer. And I like my 2 beers of choice. Again, don't laugh at me. I love Michelob Ultra.
Mm-hmm.
I drink a lot of because I always generally am on a low carb diet, and I drink Coors Light. Those are my 2 beers of choice. I love Michelob Ultra. I love Coors Light.
Simple, basic, everywhere.
Yeah,
you can find them. Are you one of those people where you mixing in a water every now and again?
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah,
yes.
I know you drink a lot of water, so that probably
absolutely.
helps.
So yes, if I'm on a binge like that, which again I don't do that anymore, but yes, we had waters on the boat, and I was drinking a good deal of water. I find if I drink water during a situation like that, then I don't have any issues. If I don't drink water, then I have an issue.
And you know what? That's probably what broke it up for you. Because you weren't really feeling, I can't say how you felt, but I would imagine it wasn't like crazy over the top buzzed. It was just chill.
No, it wasn't.
Nice day.
And again, it was over a span of 8 hours.
Right.
Yeah.
It's Coors Light.
Yeah. I think I'm revealing too much of my personal life on the show today.
Hey, I think you're doing just fine. At least people know what to get you now if they see you at a bar.
Yes,
because
that's right.
Nothing's worse than somebody getting you a drink that you can't stand when they're guessing. It's like, oh, what do I do now?
Get me Michelob Ultra or get me Coors Light. I'm fine. Those are my 2 of choice.
There you go. Refreshing.
Yeah. Absolutely. Hopefully your picks this week will be refreshing when we do that in about 25 minutes.
You know what? I just checked in with the little man. We are ready to go. We're locked in. We've got them down. So we'll see.
I love that.
As soon as I said that Liam picked last night's game, I started getting texts. Can you ask Liam for 5 different numbers? I need to hit a check.
I love it.
We'll see.
I love it. Hey, I'll tell you something else I love. I love talking about DAS Mechanical when it comes to heating and air. Did you know that most homeowners are changing their heating and air systems from gas to all electric? Bottom line is it's about getting more energy efficiency and saving a lot more money every month on energy bills. Hey, here is something that I learned. Did not know this. If your current heating and air system is 15 years or older, it may be time to consider a change. DAS Mechanical is perfect for this because nearly all of DSA's work is gas to electric whole system changeouts. Nick, the owner, and his team, they're experts. They're specialists at this. They also have 0% financing, 24/7 availability if you ever have a heating emergency. They're award-winning, locally owned, family-owned, DAS Mechanical, serving their Sacramento and Placer County neighbors for years. Just go online at dasmechanical.org. D as in dog, A, S as in Sam, mechanical.org. Spend a few moments, look at all of their 5-star reviews and their numerous best of the best awards. dasmechanical.org. Book online today. That's dasmechanical.org. We'll continue with more storytelling when we come back. And then our picks to wrap up the week right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Tired of the same old routine? Need a place where the beer flows and the good times roll? Then head to Fieldhouse American Sports Pub, 1833 Fulton Avenue. Family owned and operated, so you know you'll feel right at home. Catch all your favorite games on 18 big screens while enjoying amazing food. And with 28 beers on tap, you're sure to find something you love. And don't miss everyday happy hour from 3 to 7 and again from 10 till close. Looking for more than just the game? Trivia Tuesday starts at 7 p.m. And there's Mario Kart and bingo nights for even more fun, too. There's always a blast happening at Fieldhouse. Whether you're looking for a place to watch the game, grab a bite with the family, or just unwind with friends, Fieldhouse is the place to be. Fieldhouse American Sports Pub, 1833 Fulton Avenue. Bring it to the house.
The holidays can be a time of increased stress for those struggling with opioid or stimulant addiction. They can also be a time for pause, reflection, opportunity, and new beginnings. This holiday season, choose treatment and recovery. Embrace the company of family and friends and create special moments. Find a proven opioid or stimulant addiction treatment provider near you at choosechangeca.org.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Hey, appreciate all the feedback over on our YouTube channel, Fox Sports Sacramento, and I'm reading the comments, and Rhino's been reading the comments. A lot of Keegan Murray talk, Ryan. First of all, I don't believe he'll ever be a number one option. I don't think he is a number one option, and I think that's unfair to just automatically assume he's going to be a number one option. I think he has value to the team, but I would like him to become a little bit more consistent offensively. Somebody said, I like Keegan as a number 3 option, but not a number 1. And I'm fine with that. But I wanted to get your take on when we talk about like options, like number 1 option is your leading scorer, your go-to guy, the guy that when you need points, you know you can go to him. I don't ever see Keegan being that guy. I just don't.
No, I think Keegan would be a really good 2 to 3 option. That's what I think.
Yes.
That's where my ceiling's at. Like, you see how Cam Johnson plays a role to the Nuggets?
Yep.
I think Keegan is more impactful on the defensive end. But right now, with this team, since Keegan's going to be around, I would be pushing him more towards a number 1 option because I want to get him as many looks as possible. I want offense running through him. And although his three-point shooting didn't show it last night, he made some really nice plays around the rim that he created on his own without his teammates. Doug was asked about Keegan and being banged up. And if you remember at the start of training camp, Doug said he wanted Keegan to shoot 10 shots. Well, we both thought Doug would probably walk that back. But one thing that he has been firm on is he wants Keegan to hunt shots.
Listen, Keegan is a warrior, man. He's working through stuff, so I'm not worried about him being there before and just, you're fighting through it, and I respect that part of it. As far as the hunting and all that, we saw him play some really good basketball, and then all of a sudden he's dinged up again, and he's trying to work through it. So. Great kid, incredible basketball player. He'll be fine. We just need some good luck for him to kind of find his way out there. But he defends the best guy. He switches off. He takes any challenge that you throw in front of him. So we're talking about shots. I ain't worried about shots. The kid makes shots. He makes shots with a splint on and tape on his neck. So love him to death. Yeah.
Well, I'm worried about his shots, but that's me. But I agree with almost everything that Doug said there. I think Keegan is a warrior. There's a lot of attributes. I like the defense, as Doug points out. Doug's spot on about him being able to guard multiple positions, switching. But I am very worried about his offense, and I'm not exaggerating when I say very. I have not seen any improvement at all in his offense to a point that I need to see over a long period of time, particularly his three-point shooting. It's alarming to me.
Okay, let's set the three-point shooting aside for a second. I agree with you there. It needs to get better. He's got to not be able to knock down the open ones. He's got to be able to create a little bit more space to shoot a three-pointer on his own. But his aggressiveness in going to the rim since he's been back, and not only that, the ability to finish both with and without contact is something that has been much better in this short span that he's been back this season. And I agree with Doug, he's banged up, but if you go back and you cut the film and you look at everything inside the three-point line, you would be having two different conversations about where Keegan's at.
Okay, and I'm fine with that, and I agree with your observation. But then I don't like it when Doug talks about he wants him to take 10 threes a game and wants him to hunt his shots, because getting to the basket is fine because it creates a lot of very positive things. You can get the other team in foul trouble, you get to the foul line, and that's all very good. But the reality is most teams in the NBA today that are good because of their three-point shooting. And if Keegan wants to get to that level that we all would like him to get there, that percentage is going to have to come up. Now, I don't think it's reasonable to expect it to be at 41% in his rookie year, nor do I think it's reasonable that it should be around 28% where it is now. It needs to be somewhere in the middle of that, and I think that's realistic.
Yeah, you're right there. And I can't really disagree with anything that you said. I would add this. The Kings, and we heard this all the time last year from Mike Brown, you got to spray the ball. You need to spray the ball. One thing the Kings are having an extremely hard time doing in the half court is getting to the paint and having the ability to kick out. You don't see it, and that reflects in their three-point attempts. They're down significantly over the last couple of years, especially this season, and that's why that three-pointer for this team across the board, not just Keegan, is so important, because they're not shooting as many. And on the nights that they are shooting it well, like Zach LaVine, when he got it going, then you see the offense open up a little bit.
I asked Jerry on our post-game show last night over on YouTube and X, I said, Jerry, is there anything that this Kings team does well? And he said, no. Think about that. We are in the middle of December, and there's not one thing that the Kings do well, in his opinion, and by the way, in my opinion as well. And I'll ask you, what do they do well? They don't do anything well. They don't defend. They don't rebound well enough. They don't share the basketball. They're not physical. As Doug said, they're not handsy. They're not competitive on most nights. What is it that they do well?
They don't do anything well, especially consistently. I'll ask you now, what's the closest thing that they could be to doing well? What area of the game are they fringe?
I don't know. I don't think they're close. I don't see it. They're certainly not close to being a good defensive team. Like that's not even in the conversation. I'd have to go to individuals. You know, I'm just love what I'm seeing in Max Reynaud, but is it from a team's perspective? What do they do well, or what are they close to doing well? I don't see anything that they're close to doing well. What about you?
I think it's the fast break in transition, which
you got to get the ball first.
Right, which requires getting stops.
Yeah.
You know, there's certain players on this team, we've seen multiple times over the last road trip, where the Kings make a basket, the other team takes it out, and the guy goes coast to coast and gets a layup.
Yeah.
There's players on this team that are capable of doing that. You just don't see that attack. You don't see that pace that often. The closest thing you see to that is the second unit, and that's what's usually bringing the Kings back into the game. So, in a nutshell, it's fast break points. If the Kings are winning the fast break margin, not by like 7-5, but 18-6, they're having a good night. They're on their way to, what is it, Grant? their 6th victory.
Wow. Somebody on the 916 said they lose well. They do that well. They lose. From the 916, hey, Grant, I've been in Sacramento since 87 as well, so I thought I knew a lot of your personal history just from the stories you've told over the years, but I hadn't heard the one about that day in San Francisco when a guy gave you a ticket. That was pretty cool stuff. I don't know if I would have been able to go to the game if I had to buy a ticket. I had very little money back then, and I didn't have a lot of money in my pocket. That was such a generous offer from that man. I was just like, wow. I mean, think about that.
Yeah.
What are the chances of someone coming up at a Niners-Falcons Sunday night game in the parking lot of Candlestick, seeing me standing there and going, hey, do you need a ticket?
Incredible.
Right?
You know the lesson there? It's cliche, but pay it forward.
Yes. I've always done that. When I have tickets, very often, I'll just give them to people. I'm like, go ahead, have fun, enjoy yourself. Especially those. One of the things that I used to love doing when I had my tickets as an employee for the Kings, I used to love giving my tickets away on social media and saying, listen, it would really mean a lot to me if we would do the honor system here and you would take your son or daughter to a game or someone that hasn't been to a game, and as opposed to you going to the games all the time. It would be, and I put that out there. I go, hey, if you could, and I'll choose somebody. And
Yeah.
I could tell you, they were so happy and grateful that they were able to get tickets. And then they would call up my show the next day or the following day and share their experience. Because to me, my life was basically formed by being at sporting events with my dad. That shaped me as a person. That shaped me as who I am today. Life lessons, great experiences. Like as a child, nobody was at more games than me. And my dad always tried to share that experience with others, particularly for the Jets games. When my brother was at college, we had an extra ticket. And it was very important that that third ticket was used for somebody that was less fortunate. I'll give you a real quick story here. I think this is something I'll never, we always talk about paying it forward.
Yeah.
So my senior year, high school football, we have a running back by the name of Joe Moreno. He's new, all right? He was, his ethnicity was black Mexican, okay? And he had this huge afro. And so after like the first game or scrimmage, I can't remember what it was, my dad goes, who's your new running back? I said, oh, Dad, I don't really know a lot about him. He's really quiet. He really doesn't speak that much. But he's really good, isn't he? He goes, oh, man. He goes, what's his name? I go, his name's Joe, but I go, he's just very quiet. My dad contacts the school without me knowing it, okay? Gets information on Joe Moreno, and I come home from school one day, and my dad walks in from work, and he said, listen, I want you to invite Joe to the Jets game this week. I go, Dad, Joe doesn't really talk. He goes, it doesn't matter. I want you to invite him to the game. My dad had called up the high school and found out that Joe was an orphan and living in the orphanage and had just relocated to Syosset, New York.
Unreal.
Okay? And my dad had called the orphanage after I talked to Joe. And he called and said, listen, this is who I am. Joe's on the football team with my son. And I would really like it if Joe would go to the game. Joe had never been to a professional event, never been to any big football game. Very quiet. Did not want to go. Said no. And the reason why he told me he didn't want to go, he was embarrassed that we would have to pick him up at the orphanage. He didn't want anybody to know that he was an orphan. All right. And he was very quiet and very reserved, but my dad, again, we always talk about going above and beyond, right?
Yeah.
Like if you really want to change someone's life, there are ways to do it, but sometimes you have to like take the initiative yourself. If that individual doesn't, we would have just maybe thought, well, he's standoffish. He's a rude person. No, he wasn't rude. No, he wasn't standoffish. He was embarrassed by his situation that he was living in an orphanage. And he kept that private. And my dad, I'll never forget the day we pulled up to the orphanage.
Yeah.
And Joe comes out. And it's the first time he started loosening up with me. and we went to the game. You know, my dad made sure he had a really good time, and then he ended up going to 2 more games with us that year. So
it's amazing.
Well, you know, that's like, it's the holiday season, and think about what you could do to make someone's life better, even if it's for a day or a week. Or, you know what? I don't know what happened to Joe, but I wonder if, like, Joe started paying it forward as he became older and a father. And, like, did he remember? I'm sure he did what my dad did for him.
Right.
Like life lessons. So, yeah.
I early on, we had a really, really just special leadership teacher through junior high and high school. And he used to tell the story about the starfish. I'm sure many listeners know that. But there's a guy on the beach and there's a million starfish washed up, and he's just standing there and chucking them into the ocean. And somebody comes up and says, "What are you doing? You're never going to be able to, fix this." And he picks one up, throws it in the ocean, says, "Made a difference to that one." And just kept doing the same thing. And luckily, I've landed in a great church that has a motto, one life at a time. And I really believe in that. That story
awesome.
has stuck with me forever. So I love that you guys, your dad, just, I could listen to stories about your dad and become a better person every single day.
My dad lived to change people's lives. That's what he did. And he didn't do it by talking. He did it by doing it. And the stories that I wasn't even aware of that were going on in my dad's life in terms of changing people's lives have had a profound impact on my life, especially when I moved to Sacramento and had the resources of having a microphone and a camera in front of me to make other people's lives better, which is why I started the foundation with Joe Namath, not the former Jets quarterback, but the Future Foundation, which we started. And I'm blessed to say that in my time of raising money for the Future Foundation, we put 104 at-need, underprivileged kids through college. And, like, there's nothing better than that. There's nothing better than that. There's nothing better than the gift of education. All right, hopefully there's nothing better, right, than our picks this week, because we are going in opposite directions currently based on the Sunday and Monday games. So I'm going to let Rhino go first. I'm going to give him the leadoff spot. When we come back, all right, let me get to Rich. I'm happy to do that because I love talking to Rich in San Diego because he's one of my favorites. Hello, Rich. How are you, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing great. I'm doing great, Grant. Thanks for telling the audience, the listening audience, that I'm one of your favorites. That really warms my heart. It really does.
Truth.
And
it's the truth, my friend.
Yeah. Well, I haven't talked to you in some time. The last time
that's why you're one of my favorites, because I haven't had to deal with you in a while.
No, but I had sent you a text a couple weeks ago from Nicaragua, and it was Grenada, Nicaragua, and he goes, "Oh, I got a text from Grenada, Nicaragua."
I know. I you know what I was thinking of in the Caribbean, and anyway.
Okay.
But go ahead. What do you want to talk about today?
No, I just have to tease you about that. But first off, we do. I have to root for the home team tonight in the high school championship in the AA. We got the Catholic high school here going against Folsom. So I have to root for the home team.
Of course you
do. Yeah. So it should be a really good game, though. I'm looking forward to it.
I am too.
Yeah. But I want to share a really quick story. You talked about a free ticket, okay? And this is really cool because I was traveling across the country when I was 21 years old. I sold a sandwich business in South Lake Tahoe, right? And I wanted to move to a small town. I said, I'm gonna hitchhike across the western states. Okay, I spent a month and a half on the road, and the first big city I got to was Salt Lake City, right? And I'm hitchhiking, and I had just bought a convertible Mustang, but I always wanted to see what it was like to hitchhike across the country, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so here I am. I got through the desert, the Nevada desert, and the first big city I hit was Salt Lake City. And this guy picks me up, gives me a ride, and I'm looking at my cousin that lived in Salt Lake. I was getting ready to go to his place, and this guy says, "Hey," he says, "You got any plans tonight?" I said, "No, I'm just coming into town." He says, well, I work for a ticket agency company, and I got an extra ticket for the Yes, for Yes, the band Yes, playing at the Salt Palace tonight. So, it was like turned on to a ticket, and Yes was one of my favorite bands at that time, and got into the Salt Palace, and I knew it was going to be a great trip. And honestly, it was one of the best experiences I had in my life. Spent a month and a half on the road, using my thumb. And I'll tell you what, I just want to say the one lesson in life that I learned from that whole experience and then traveling across the country was the power of having a positive attitude and you're going somewhere. And I never really got hung up too long trying to get a ride because I was always had a smile on my face and I was going somewhere. It was, I could write a book about it. But anyway, I know you guys are getting ready to close this thing up. Who are you picking with the Steelers in Miami on Monday? That's what I want to know.
Well, I'm picking the Steelers, but I don't know if it will be one of my 4 picks, but you can listen to it next. Rich, if I don't speak to you, the best of holidays, Merry Christmas, and enjoy the game tonight.
Okay. Same to you both, you and Rhino both, okay?
Thank
you
you,
guys
buddy.
Take care. Enjoy your show. All right.
Thank you. When we come back, we'll wrap up the week, which means our picks. That's right. Our NFL picks coming up next right here on Fox Sports Sacramento. Hey, it's Grant Napear for Village Financial Group. I have known broker-owner Spencer Grimmenstein for 25 years, ever since he began his family-owned business. Whether it's a home equity line of credit or buying or selling a home, Spencer is a very creative financing specialist with access to private money. Check out Village Financial Group at vfgloans.com or call Spencer at 916-805-4868. Be sure and call for the investor special. And if you go to their website, vfgloans.com, you can find over 9,000 properties available for purchase. Folks, Spencer is awesome. Trust me. Again, I've known the guy since 2000. It makes sense to call Spence at 916-805-4868. Village Financial Group, looking out for your best interest. Call 916-805-4868.
The holidays are here, and Gabrud Services is here for any electrical need or emergency. Holiday periods put more stress on your home's electrical system, more activity, more lights being used, increased appliance use, and more. Here are 3 holiday electrical reminders from the good dudes at Gabrud's. 1. There's still time for Gabrud's to inspect your home's electrical integrity. 2. Gabrud's are the experts in backup generator installation with flexible financing options to make a whole house generator affordable. And 3. Gabrud's has live call answering 24/7. We're here any time of day, especially in case of an emergency. At Gabrud's, electrical work is all we do. And at the holidays, we're here to ensure your home and family are safe. Locally owned for more than 30 years. Call Gabrud's, G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Call the good dudes at Gabrud's, G-U-B-R-U-D-S, Gabrud's.com.
Hi, it's Margot from Bennett's Restaurants. Looking for the best happy hour in town? Head to Bennett's, where every day from 2 to 6, you'll find flavor, fun, and serious value. Enjoy over 10 wines by the glass, country club-style cocktails like lemon drops, skinny margaritas, and crave-worthy share plates. Short rib tacos, chicken wings, calamari, and more, starting at just $6. It's upscale without the uptight. 3 locations, Roseville, Rockland, and Sacramento. Join us today or check out the menu at bennettsrestaurants.com.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now, with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free offer.
800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. That's 800-690-8445.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
I love the music. I love the fact that we are doing our final segment. Get you ready for the weekend. I love the fact that I had a good week. It's very quiet on the other end. Somebody didn't have a good week. And we have a winner for the $100 Bennett's gift card. Sacramento, Roseville, the West Side Grill. Bennett'sRestaurants.com. Don't forget about your Christmas Eve reservations, food to go as well. They're awesome. Prime Seafood and Steak. Get down there this weekend for their outstanding brunch. Rhino, who's the winner?
Congrats to Carl Weisker on the X. You have won a $100 gift card to Bennett. We'll reach out via DM. Congratulations. You went 3-1 last week.
Oh, it's awesome. Did you go 3-1 last week?
No. So here's the thing. John Calipari has a great quote. You know,
Yep.
You could have a bucket of ice cream and you take one little drop of poop and you put it in the ice cream and it's ruined. You could have a bucket of poop and put all the ice cream you want in it. Doesn't help. I'm not going to be the poop in this segment's ice cream anymore. Okay? We're going to pick it up. We're going with Liam's picks. You're giving me the honors. Thank you for that. My 11-year-old son doesn't care about the spreads. He's going Bears over the Cleveland Browns. Look, the Bears lost a tough one last week. Ben Johnson has been doing a really good job in Chicago. Is Chicago for real? No, but they are on the right track. I think they bounce back. I think they have a strong week. Can they get to Sanders a little bit? I think so. So we are going to lay the points, according to Liam, 7.5 against Cleveland.
Chargers at the Chiefs. The Chiefs, to me, will be extinct on Sunday afternoon. When's the last time you saw the Chiefs as a home underdog? They are giving 6 to the Chargers. The Chiefs have 3 offensive linemen out. They're in disarray. They're going down. I'll give you the 6. Give me the Chargers to beat the Chiefs.
You're going to give them 6 at home?
I sure am. They're
wow. Done. That's got to be the biggest spread in the last 4 years.
Mm-hmm. I know
Underdog?
I should never say that Patrick Mahomes is done, but I think they're done.
All right. Of course, my son sees a Bohamera heading to the Pacific Northwest, where the Seahawks play. This week, they will be taking on a 44-year-old, likely to play Phillip Rivers. Seahawks hitting on all cylinders last week. Still worried about Sam Darnold, but can the Colts run the football? That's going to be the key to this game. Can the Colts run the football? I think the Seattle defense stands up. Rivers will have a couple good throws. I don't think it's going to end up well for the Colts in this one. I'm laying a lot of points, according to Liam. 13.5. Give me the Seahawks.
I was going to take that too, so I'm going to move over to another game, another big line. The 49ers are at home coming off a bye. They're giving 12.5 against the Titans. I'll be more than happy to give you 12.5. I like where the Niners are at. I like the fact they're coming off a bye. I think they're going to really finish this season on a strong note. I'll take the 49ers. I'll give you the 12.5 points.
Love it. So my son must have sensed my frustration with the Denver Broncos because I backed them 2 weeks in a row. And what happened? They did not come through. Going to Denver, the Packers. Look, the Packers have played the best on the road, if we're going to be honest about it. Jordan Love, I think he has a good game. What I do believe is the Packers can score the football. I don't think Denver can score the football at a high rate. Micah Parsons has been wreaking havoc, as Chris Landry said. I am going to take I'm going to take the Packers, who are actually the underdog. Denver's the underdog at home. I'm taking the Packers and laying the 2.5 points.
I was going to take the Packers too. I like that play a lot, but I'll now move to a different game. Well, Sunday night, Minnesota at Dallas. CeeDee Lamb's out of concussion protocol. Cowboys offense is moving defensively, but you know what? They're only given 5.5. I think they beat the Vikings by more than 5.5, so I'll lay the 5.5. I'll take Dallas. I also like to take Dallas because every time I take them, they lose, and I love when the Cowboys lose. So that's part of my thinking there as well. So I'll take Dallas. I'll give you 5.5.
Well done there. Well done there. Final game. Going to SoFi, the fight capital of the world. The Rams hosting the Lions. Look, Grant, this Rams team, they're too good to gamble against. What do they always say about gambling? The house always wins. I'm laying the 6 points. I think the Rams are the best football team right now in the NFL. Give me Los Angeles.
All right. Washington at the Giants. No quarterback for Washington. Daniels out. Washington getting 2.5. The Giants always seem to win when they're not supposed to win, and they screw up a number 1 pick in the draft, which they'll do again because right now they're the leaders in the clubhouse with the number 1 pick. They're on the clock. They won't be on the clock after this week because they're going to beat Washington. I'll give you 2.5. I'll take Jackson Dart. I'll take the Giants to screw up their draft and win at home against the Washington Commanders.
You're usually pretty right on with those things.
So you have the Bears, the Seahawks, the Packers, and the Rams. I have the Chargers, the Niners, the Cowboys, and the Giants. Rhino's going to put this out on our X accounts, and then you must use the DraftKings NFL odds so that we are in sync, and then you respond to our tweet, and you will be eligible to win a $100 gift card from Bennett's. Good luck. You know, another game I was going to pick that I really think I think Carolina now with that loss to Tampa. I mean, are they going to go to New Orleans and lose that game? I can't imagine it. I was going to pick Carolina, but they've been so inconsistent. And the other game that I was looking at was Buffalo and New England. And if you told me I had to pick a game, I would take Buffalo. Not because I think they're a better team than New England. I just think that there are circumstances where you aren't going to go 15-2, and New England is due to get like a fumble a punt, fumble a kickoff, like something is due just to slow them down a little bit. Josh Allen and the Bills lost to New England earlier in the year. This is a huge game for them. I'm thinking Buffalo might go in there and win this in a close divisional game.
I think it's actually a good thing for a young team like that to get reset a little bit this late into the season, especially when you've won as many as they have in a row.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's say that happens.
Yep.
Where do you put the Bills? Are you putting the Bills or thinking about them in your top 5?
No, there's no way my Bills are in the top 5, even if they win. I can't do it. They've been way too inconsistent for me over the course of the year. They have, 5 losses? No.
Yeah.
Can't do it. No.
They're okay. Bad analogy, but are the Bills one of those teams that just need a ticket to the dance?
No. Their history would tell you they need a lot more than a ticket to the dance.
Yeah.
I should say they have 4 losses. They're 9-4. So if they go 10-4, could I have them in my top 5? Well, listen, if you told me that Denver was going to lose, if you told me that Green Bay was going to lose, I know they both can't lose because they're playing one another. If you told me the Rams would lose or Seattle, maybe they could be 5. I'd have to wait and see what all the other games this week. But right now, if Buffalo were to win, do I think they'd be a top 5? Probably not. Probably not.
Can we agree that a Green Bay win over Denver is not as impressive as a Buffalo win over New England?
Yes. I would say that's accurate. And I know Cody's going to get mad at me. Sorry, Cody. And I have him in my top 5, but I watch Denver play every week, and I give them credit because the name of the game is to win, and they do that. But I just think they're very beatable. I really do.
Who do you trust more, Sam Darnold or Bo Nix?
Bo Nix.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. I don't trust Sam Darnold based on what I saw last year in December at the end and in the playoffs against the Rams. And after I saw him play against the Rams this year, I've never seen Bo Nix play that badly. Have you seen Bo Nix play as badly as Sam Darnold did against the Rams this year?
No. 4 interceptions? No.
was terrible, but they were just all terrible.
Right. The Rams mess him up. So you got to hope that you don't. Well, the road probably through the NFC goes through them.
Yeah. Well, Liam stole 2 of my games, so I want you to let him know that he may have derailed me this week because I was going to take Seattle. I love the Seattle game this week. I think they're going to destroy the Colts. I love that. And the other game I was going to take was Green Bay. So he took 2 of the games that I had already decided I was going to take, and I substituted those 2 games with the Giants and the Cowboys.
Well, he's either going to derail you or he's going to help you because it might derail me, right?
That's a great point. Knowing Liam's track record, I have a feeling I'm in real trouble this week.
He is about 500, and just so everybody knows, this kid does not watch a lick of football. I put the NFL schedule in front of him, and he circles 4 games.
I love it.
And the winner of those games.
He's the type of individual that wins the March Madness pool.
Spot on. I used to spend hours, Grant, days researching teams, and it's always the secretary that doesn't watch basketball that picks the teams off of colors or mascots. Always.
So don't forget, as we look at the weekend, we'll be on after the Kings and the T-Wolves Sunday night. So join us on YouTube and X if you don't like that. We're at the weekend, buddy. I hope you have a great weekend.
Yeah, you as well. Enjoy.
Yeah. Always. I will not be on Biscayne Bay in a boat drinking 23 beers. I can promise you that.
Good to know.
Yeah, and I will not be at the UC Davis football game tomorrow, but I'll probably be watching it. I wish them the best. Good luck to the Aggies of UC Davis tomorrow against the Illinois State Redbirds, and good luck to Folsom High School tonight. I'm rooting for both of you.
Amen.
Good luck, Folsom. Good luck, UC Davis. And stay safe, everyone. Really appreciate you joining us each and every day from 3 to 6 right here, whether it's on the Fox Sports KSAC app or 104.7 FM or 890 AM, or on YouTube, the YouTube channel, wherever you're listening. Thank you. I appreciate your support. Have a great weekend, everybody. Stay safe. For Rhino in Sacktown, I'm Grant Napear saying so long. And again, thanks for listening to Fox Sports Sacramento. Bye-bye.
Looking for the perfect spot to watch the game and enjoy amazing food and drinks? Look no further than Fieldhouse American Sports Pub. Family